Hello and welcome back to What's This Podcast. Thank you for listening to the very first episode, only but a few short days ago. This is episode 2, and today our topic is TV series or TV shows. I don't know, TV, something like that. It wasn't my choice, but we're here now. My name is John, and I am joined by our podcast creator,
Ethan,
and Guy sitting next to me,
Jim,
and Guy sitting away from me,
Ronnie.
There we go. So
we say sitting next to, by the way, they're on computers. It is Zoom.
It is very strange to say, but they are sitting next to me. I'm in the same. I want to be. I feel like I'm in the same room.
We feel it too.
I feel it too. I feel it's balls.
But yeah, if you're here on the YouTube side, don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell just so you never miss one of our shows again. Also, just a quick one. Go follow our Instagram because we do polls on our story which actually decide what topic we're going to do.
You get to have your say.
Yeah, you do.
What is that?
So basically, us four we choose the topic each,
or not.
If you wanted to, you can comment on the video or DM us on Instagram of what.
So if you wanted the topic to be off the top of my head,
something like MMA,
like mixed martial arts. If you're a fan of mixed martial arts, you could decide that that's what we talk about. If you're a fan of golf.
Oh, who likes golf?
I don't know. But if you're a fan of golf, someone's out there who loves golf, you can decide that golf is the topic we want to talk about.
But yeah,
if you've got no friends and you've got nothing going on in your life, and you might want to choose TV series
or computer games is another one that we could discuss as well.
Computer games.
They're just sour because it was my topic and I won. That's all.
Just democracy. I like it.
Yeah.
Although we were told we were never allowed to mention MMA, so this went from a free-flowing conversation to dictatorship.
Dictatorship.
Yeah,
because if you won, then you would be allowed to mention MMA, but you didn't win. I won.
Well, unlucky for you, there is a TV series out there called Tough, which is the Ultimate Fighter series. That I'm sure we might touch on at some point.
That's very true.
I mean,
but coming back from that and going back to TV series, I did want to
turn the notifications off your phone before we go any further.
Yes, I have done that now. It's silent.
Good man.
I just want to ask each and every one of you, not the viewers or listeners, you guys, what is your favourite ever TV series you've watched?
Ooh, I'm going to go last on this one.
Okay. Ronnie?
I'll go first. Airwolf. I can't even remember what it was about other than like an amazing helicopter. But I just remember the excitement every weekend knowing that episode was going to be on there. Like, that's what a TV series is, isn't it? It's the spending the whole week waiting for that next episode. Well, it used to be.
It used to be, yeah. Now, isn't it?
That's very interesting.
What about Street Hawk? Did you get the same feeling for Street Hawk and Knight Rider?
I mean, the theme tune wasn't as good. The Airwolf theme tune was just amazing.
Yeah, the theme tune for Airwolf was amazing.
You raise a very interesting point because TV series now is not. We didn't used to watch them in the same way we used to watch them. So gone is that. Can't wait for the next episode, and that child, like, there's always going to be those years when you were a kid where you were watching something that, like, you were like climbing the walls with excitement for the next episode. And for me, it was the 18.
And God forbid that you were busy or you were out with your parents doing something and you missed it. Because
you won't be able to watch it again.
There was no catch up.
You won't be able to watch it again.
You'd
be that dickhead in the playground pretending you watched
it. Did you watch Airwolf? No, we didn't.
Jim, did you watch it last night? Did you watch Airwolf last night?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
And if you wanted to binge a series, you'd literally have to go and buy it for like 20 quid for the videos or something, like 12 videos.
You'd have to hire it from the video shop.
Yeah, you get the right episode.
Get down Andy Kim's,
the one where Stringfellow Hawk, I don't know, passes wind in Airwolf.
You say that though, but you do still have that feeling of waiting for an episode because those BBC dramas, it's never just out there in one, like on Netflix or right. You do have to it comes out once every week.
When was the last time you watched a BBC drama?
Well, personally, me, I don't.
Exactly.
I know people that do.
Do you?
Yeah. The last BBC drama I watched was Collateral.
But did you watch it on Netflix?
No, I watched it through the iPlayer.
All in one.
All in one.
There you go, you see, this is it. Who does that now? Who goes, oh, it's Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Oh, Taggart's on.
Based on the voice you just used, old people.
That wasn't just old. That was
generic old people.
That was generic sort of like people that are still have a TV guide out. My mum.
Netflix are still maintaining that. Netflix still do that. Like I've been watching Star Trek Discovery, and that that has been had the weekly release, as has The Mandalorian. And both of those, you kind of have to sit and wait for the next episode. But you do have the choice of waiting until it's all out there and then just watching the whole lot in one go.
I think it depends on what kind of show it is. If it's something that's going to build tension throughout the series, then they like to leave things on cliffhangers episode on episode. Then they'll release it once a week. But if it's something that's so binge worthy, they can just release it all because there's no hangers on each episode. You can just bash it all out there and you can watch the entire lot straight away.
Yeah. I always catch stuff. I don't watch terrestrial TV ever. So I never see anything that's on terrestrial. So I wait until people go, oh, did you ever watch that series? Whatever it was. I'm talking about the BBC ones that were quite big a few years ago, like Dr. Foster when that came out.
Great series.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So I watched it, like you said, on iPlayer, on Netflix, whatever it was on at the time. You watch it and then just binge it. I cannot, and I will not watch a series where you have to wait each week. Like that, the Michael Jordan one, the
Last Dance.
Last Dance. Amazing. I literally built those up waiting. I waited until there was about 8 deep and then watched it.
I waited for the last episode because someone went, watch The Last Dance. So I started watching it and then I was like, God damn it.
You gotta wait.
And then I had to wait a week.
Why? Who does that now?
You see, that happened with The Mandalorian, but I quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair with The Mandalorian,
because you had all the theories that people were like,
I did like to watch, some of the breakdown videos and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it's good.
I did that with Star Trek Discovery, as I just said. That I waited till every Friday, and it was something to look forward to on a Friday night.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose you do miss that. You do miss that. Oh, it's so-and-so evening. Something's on.
Especially a Friday night.
No, every night is the same now. Every night is the same. It's like, and that, I suppose that is a thing. It's like there's no Saturday night TV anymore.
Well, do you remember when there used to be, what was it? E4 used to do something Thursday, like Red Hot Thursday or something like that.
I remember that.
And then there was things like The Big Bang Theory on, and
all those
shows one after the other.
And BBC,
the BBC did something similar.
BBC Two did it because that's where I first saw like the Fast Show.
Yeah,
and that's when and The Office. Yeah, was first on those. Like the BBC Two was quite hot, and Shooting Stars and stuff. Yes. That BBC Two slot between like 8:30 or 9 o'clock and like 10:30. There was 2 or 3 really good comedy programs. Alan Partridge. Don't get me started on that. That's like gold dust.
But yeah, so we've got Ronnie's. What's yours?
Is it Airwolf genuinely your favourite TV series, right? Or is it the one that you're like most emotive?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to sort of explain. I can't even remember what actually was in the episodes. I just remember the feeling of absolutely loving the theme tune every time it came on.
TV shows are about?
Yeah.
So minus that then, what's one show that you remember and that you really liked from what you remember?
I mean, this is the problem with like looking back. Is I mean, like if you go and play some old retro games, you find that it's not the actual game itself that you enjoyed because by modern standards they're crap. Yeah, it's the feeling you had at the time when you played it.
Yeah, very true.
All right. What about you?
If I had to put you see, and this is I'm going to sound like a right dickhead on the wall here, but there's so much to choose from. For me, I really love like comedy programs, but in terms of series, for me, probably the best TV series, in my opinion, that it sits. I always think of, you remember Top Gear when they used to have the cool wall, and then they had the little Sub-Zero box that the DB new Aston Martin went in. For me, there's something that always sits in its own entire category, and that's Game of Thrones. I always feel like the production value, like the storylines. I mean, forgetting, the people that were in it, forgetting how it ended. I know that it ended like people were either happy or dissatisfied with how it ended.
Yeah.
But ultimately, those sort of like 7 seasons, nearly 8 seasons, something like that. For me, that's almost standalone. I think that for me is one of the best TV series ever made, and it's just such a good show. So I suppose I have to say that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Ethan?
Just because I'm a massive Star Wars fan.
Chuckle Brothers.
Oh shit! So I've got to go Mandalorian.
Really? That's the best TV show you've ever seen.
Yeah. I just love waiting.
I love the fact that Ronnie's just shaking his head.
I love the waiting where you had to wait every week for an episode, and I just thought, other than, like I said, it felt like a bit of a side mission. Some of the episodes, they were really good.
But again, that's an emotional. Is that because it was Star Wars?
And I love the fact that they brought, because I've obviously watched the Clone Wars series, and I loved how they brought characters in from that, and it just was amazing.
Honestly, I think if they'd released all of the Mandalorian in one go, it wouldn't have been as highly rated as it is.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
I think the drawing it out is.
Was that me, mate?
No, that was the dog.
Sorry, Ronnie. I do apologise.
I disagree with that.
No, I think Ronnie's right in that one.
Yeah, if you watch them back to back,
it wouldn't have been as big a hit as it is.
As anticipated.
You can say that with most series, I suppose.
That's interesting. That is an interesting theory because that absolutely stinks. I've got a small dog and I think she might have eaten something wrong or she's eaten her dinner too quickly. She's inflated to roughly the size of a medium-sized bagpipe. And her stomach is quite hard at the moment. And she's emanating a gas which can only be described as chemically toxic.
It looks like it's starting to peel your wallpaper.
And massively audible as well. It's like you really loud, isn't it? I've never known it to fart so loudly. But she's slowly deflating, so we're going to carry on. But if we sound distant, it's because we're having to cover our faces. Well, I'm having to cover my face because she fucking stinks. Yeah, but that was an interesting point you made about stuff that is released. Does that increase its popularity because, like the Michael Jordan one, Last Dance, that came out week on week, and Star Trek Discovery, that came out week on week, and they are like always quite up there in like the highly rated shows. Is it because maybe people binge? Do you find maybe sometimes people binge stuff, get so far into it, and then sort of lose touch with it a little bit? Maybe something else comes out, or they get busy because the weekend's gone and Monday's began again, and then they don't pick it back up again.
No, I think the reason that things are so hyped is when they're released week on week, it gives people a chance to sit down, talk with their friends, discuss what happened, and what they think is going to happen in the next one. Yeah. And therefore, it's a conversation that's permanently going on throughout a series, which may last, I don't know, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. So you get to see the series evolve and talk about it all the way through. Whereas if it's all released in one go, you can sit there, spend 9 hours, Saturday afternoon, evening, and just watch it all. And then the next day you go, did you see that thing last night? Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing else to talk about on that.
I think as well, the other thing is, I think often anticipation can be better than the event itself. Like the 3 weeks before you go on holiday is always probably more exciting than the actual 1 week you're actually on holiday. And I think that probably goes the same for this. So like, Christmas and Christmas as well, yeah.
The wait for Christmas is so much better.
I hate Christmas. I hate everything about Christmas.
Yeah, well, we're not going into that, are we?
Why?
Because we're not. Christmas is long gone.
How dare you, Sam?
Christmas
is gone. Sort of thing. Yeah, I get that. It's
yeah, I do get that with the Mandalorian.
Stuff, yeah.
With like when an episode came out, you'd have that week of like on YouTube, people have their theories of what the next episode will be, who will be in it, and stuff like that. And I thought that was definitely a good thing.
James, what is your favourite series?
So it's really difficult because I have like a favourite comedy one, a favourite actiony one,
of course,
but favourite
genre for genre,
all time sort of thing. I've got to say something like the Blue Planet, I think.
Really?
It's just so incredible.
Documentary wise?
Yeah. I mean, the amount of time it took to make that, the research that went into it, the
and some big fish, some very
big fish and little squids and all manner of things. But just, I mean, especially if you watch it in 4K.
Blue Planet as opposed to, say, Life or...
I tell you what, Blue Planet's probably my favourite out of all of those, but anything, Richard Attenborough, anything.
David Attenborough.
No, Richard. I like it. I really like Jurassic Park. We're going back to that. Yeah, sorry, David Attenborough.
Did you know I recently found out with shows like that they actually wait? So you know how they like get an animal, like record an animal? Sometimes they could be waiting like months for even that animal to show. So they'd just be camped out in one spot for like a month, waiting for that animal to show up.
You know that most of the animals in it are show animals, don't you? And that's not real at all.
No, it is. I heard it on the radio.
Yeah, it is, mate. I've just seen your little face.
Of course, it's not. I heard that some of them were literally people.
What, dressed up in? Yeah. Well, you say that.
So that whale, you know the whale in Blue Planet?
That was my brother.
With a fin on.
There was also a series called A Spy in the Pod, which was incredible, where they made a remote-controlled dolphin that literally swam with dolphins, and they made a penguin that went along with the penguins, and a bird that flew along with them. That was incredible as well, but it had none of the quality of, an Attenborough.
There's a guy I used to work with that genuinely could have been that penguin.
What's his name?
I'm not going to give his name out, but he genuinely could have been that penguin.
Did he always wear a dinner jacket?
Always wore a dinner jacket. Fucking love sardines.
Did he have a nemesis called Batman?
Yeah, he had that walk. He had that weird walk. And when he talked, he sounded like a penguin.
So obviously we spoke about we spoke about our favourite series.
Yes.
What is one series that you would literally be okay with being banned and never shown
Mrs.
again?
Brown's Boys.
This
Next.
is Brown's Boys, yeah. I'm down with that one. Get rid of
Other
that.
than that, because that is good.
No, it's not.
Get out.
It's good because it's just crap. That's what's so
No.
good about it.
It unfortunately it I mean, I don't want to get political, so I won't.
Yeah, it's crap.
It's crap. It's
But
crap.
an actual good, decent series.
A good series that I want to get rid of. For me,
Yeah.
that is lowest common denominator. That is the sort of comedy that is.
But you never watch it, so it doesn't matter.
I have seen.
I have enjoyed Mrs. Brown's Boys. I've enjoyed a few episodes of it.
I do not.
No,
If you actually watch it, it isn't that
There
bad.
are
It's
there's
just-
some funny slapstick in there.
it's
just stupid comedy. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, but that's it. For me, that's it. If it's stupid comedy, then it's not funny. If it's
But
obvious,
you like Dumb and Dumber?
no.
yeah, but they're not
I don't
obvious
like Dumb and
jokes.
It's
But that's the same. I think it's the same
No,
sort of comedy.
no, it's
It
different
is.
it's
comedy.
the
I think-
sort of comedy, and it's very difficult to describe. But it's the sort of comedy, and this is why I look again another comedy series that I like so much is it's the sort of comedy that is the piss is taken out of it in extras. So they made that When the Whistle Blows, and it was almost like they wrote a sitcom within a sitcom. And it wasn't that When the Whistle Blows was funny. They were taking the piss out of that old school style, like 90s, 80s sort of like canned laughter,
I hate laughter.
crash jokes, men dressed as it just like outdated comedy that just didn't like it's not as the test of time has done away with it. And that for me is what Mrs. Brown's Boys encapsulates. It's almost like they're trying to bring back something that evolution has discarded 50,
No.
20 years ago.
I disagree. I disagree.
Skyrocket.
There's two things you're missing with Mrs. Brown's Boys because you don't really watch it. One is breaking the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall is done in a very unusual way. I mean, there's bits straight to the camera sometimes, but there's also bits where there's been episodes where like a camera's come through the wrong place and she's kind of walked into it, and they roll with it.
That's what's so good about that. I think their episodes is literally done there and then.
Yeah. But then the other thing
If
is,
there's a mistake, it's in it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They'll
The-
just
the-
put it in it.
So
yeah, the
it's
other thing
super
is,
cheap to make and super cheap to edit.
But the other thing is,
That's
what-
That's
in
what's
fact-
so good about it because it's
in
just
fact-
crap.
well, the other thing is as well. Basically, most of the cast are actually all related. So there's kind of there's what the relationship you're seeing
So it's
being
inbred
acted
as
out.
well.
But there's also the relationships of the actual members of the cast. So for people who invested in that to watch it, they're getting something more than you're getting from it.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. I mean, I'm really like I'm a knobhead when it comes to stuff that I don't like. If I don't like it, I'm quite fuck it. I hate that shit. So I do know that I take that hard nosed attitude with stuff.
You're not
So-
like I just don't like it. You're
Yeah,
vividly I don't
yeah,
like it. Yeah.
when I really do, I mean, there's some stuff that I'm like, oh, I don't quite like that. But when I really don't like something, it's like,
that can just die.
yeah. So don't take what I say with a big pinch of salt because I am like that, unfortunately.
There'll be two shows for me. I mean, if you're already getting rid of Mrs. Brown's Boys,
Yeah,
then,
you can't copy
then I am
Is
fine.
it
with that.
genuinely one of yours?
Yeah,
Is
I
that what-
hate that. But there's another two that I would quite happily get rid of. One of them is Supernatural. I hate that.
Never
I think
seen
it is
Never seen
awful.
it
I half watched the first episode and they got something so easy to do wrong.
I'll explain this because this is one of my pet peeves as well.
They were putting a tape into a car. This is how old the show was. They're putting a tape into the car, and the tape I think said Metallica on the tape. They put it in and it started playing, and it was AC/DC. I mean, if you can't even
I've
get that
actually
right,
heard this
you
before.
can get fucked. I don't care about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
stuff
was
that
a
really
That's the
bothers
thing
me.
for that show, wasn't it?
But the
I've
missus
heard
loves
that
it, and every
before.
time it comes on, I'm like, "What is this shit? Get rid of it." So there's that one, and there's another program which is very similar called Grimm, which is just dog shit. It's just about the
Is that what you love? You and Molly love. Is it Grimm? What's the one that you watch? The Disney one. What's the one that you guys love?
I don't love it. I just watch it because Molly really likes it. Once Upon a Time.
Once upon a time, that's slightly different. Yeah, that's slightly
But
different.
yeah, Grimm and Supernatural for me can both fuck off and die.
Sweet.
And all of the actors that portray those roles need to do better. Just in their life, do better. I mean, they probably made a lot of money from it, but do better.
Do better.
Do
Stuff.
better.
What about you, Ronnie?
Can I just like take out a whole genre?
Yeah.
Wow, what?
And-
The site is
God,
remorseless.
Ronnie.
No, but you know what? It's your own personal choice, so go for it.
Yeah,
It's
do it.
soap operas, British soap operas.
Oh, Ronnie, I am not only am I like
I'm gonna second
cheering
it.
you on.
Yeah.
I'm going to sharpen your side.
It just literally, it's just like it's somebody else living a dull life that's probably worse than yours. Seriously, you're wasting your life watching somebody else with a worse life. That's
That's
it.
the thing with EastEnders, if that's what you're on about. It's just the
Yeah,
same
also.
crap all the time.
Yeah.
Now,
There's always something wrong in their world. It's like,
Yeah,
you must
and
be
anyone-
mad depressed, just kill yourself.
Anytime
Is that
something good-
bad?
Wow.
wow,
Wow. Trigger warnings.
Yeah.
Trigger warnings.
Yeah,
Please
welcome
don't
from
kill yourself.
mental health there. Jesus.
Like, I'm not being funny, but Phil Mitchell's in it. I swear he's murdered about 30 of the staff cast, isn't it? How is he still in it and not in prison?
How is he still in it? Is he still in it?
I have
Yeah.
no idea. I don't watch
He's had
it.
cancer. He's
You
killed
can-
about
you-
50
you
people.
can recover from cancer.
He's
Yeah.
but I just
Unless they
don't
can
get-
prove it, you don't know he's killed those people.
I'm not-
Allegedly.
Is he still? I thought he'd left like many means.
No, his brother's left.
He's got
His
nothing
brother
else.
left
Oh.
and then came back for a few episodes and then left again.
His
He's
brother left
just
and
been
went
in it.
to Iraq and like talked to soldiers and shit.
Wasn't he in the SS?
He was,
Yeah, it's just like it's just, if someone's actually having a good time, if someone's life is going right, then they're about to basically be murdered or have something seriously bad happen to them.
The
It's
thing is
almost
with them as
predictable.
well, it's always their Christmas specials that are like the thing, and something has to go wrong at Christmas.
Was there like a helicopter
bloody
crash at
hell.
Albert Square one year?
Now, I will
Was
say,
that
with
Emmerdale?
regard to soaps, misery does love company. So, I mean, if you're in a rut of a life and you're not really doing anything, then yeah, watch someone else have a shitty life and feel better about yourself. But there are some.
By the way, no
there
one
are
actually going
some-
to kill themselves.
Yeah, well done, Ethan. You should have said that in the first place.
Who's going to kill themselves?
No, I said no one.
He's just remembered what he said a minute ago.
Yeah, I just realised.
Please reach out if you're
Yeah.
feeling bad, like messages on Instagram or Facebook or
Sounds so sarcastic,
Or
but it was
No, no,
actually
I mean
really
genuine.
Or
I mean,
Samaritans or anything like that.
genuine. Please
But
don't do things.
There are
like that.
some episodes of these things that are just, gold, just absolute gold.
Well,
And I'm not going to discuss them, but I think you'll know what we're talking about. When I say that some of them.
Can we talk about it?
I mean, I don't think we should.
I'm
Do you know what? There is
talk about it. I'll talk about it.
No, we're not going to talk about it.
Well, you got to talk about it now.
No, we're not going to.
No,
That will be for patrons when we eventually.
They do help a lot.
site.
Though. They do a lot with like mental health and stuff. I think.
They cover. I suppose soaps cover a lot because they cover everything from
Domestic violence,
domestic violence to
mental health
to child
issues.
abuse to whatever it is. They cover like,
theft, fraud.
of course, they cover a lot
Market
within their
stalls.
soaps. But yeah, like people like stealing peanuts
Yeah.
or like getting banned from pubs.
Entire
or-
communities not
or
only the washing
having
machine,
fights down the street.
Yeah.
Or,
or people getting out the pub, you slag.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm in like complete agreement with you, Ronnie. It's not a thing for me. And I suppose I mean,
We're not really the demographic for that, though. To be fair,
why aren't we though? Because I'm nearly 40.
40. Wow,
I'm
you
nearly-
sounded
I
more
am-
less than I've ever
I
heard.
am
Then.
nearly 40. and so I've grown up watching. So I mean, when I was a kid, Neighbours was a big thing. It's like, but I don't know. I'd never. That's the only thing I ever watched. I never got into soaps. I know some people that have, but I do find it a waste of time. I think it's that whole you got to watch it on this time at this day and things like that.
And isn't it on like every day?
I ain't
Is
got-
that right?
I haven't got a clue. I don't watch terrestrial TV. I haven't watched terrestrial TV in 2 years. I ain't
Some of
got a
them are
clue.
like 2, 3, 4 times a week. Now, Ronnie,
EastEnders has been going on
when you
for
say
like
soaps,
years.
I think you did say British soaps.
Hmm.
Are we going to include all soaps from across the world, or is it literally British soaps? Because you're going to get rid of Home and Away, and who doesn't want to watch beautiful people roll around in the sand?
You got Baywatch.
Yeah, but
for
there's-
that.
Baywatch is it again? Baywatch is a soap opera.
Is it? I don't know. It's a great TV show. No, because there was
There's
some
also
integrity to
websites for that
Baywatch.
kind of stuff. If you want to see like people rolling around, there's websites that will.
How dare you, sir?
No,
How dare you
Not
insinuate?
when we were children. There wasn't. There was no such thing as a
Well, no,
website.
I know.
There wasn't. Look, Ronnie, I had nothing to do on a Saturday night when I was 15 years old.
So-
On a Saturday night.
Put
I used to
himself all over the
I used to sit there with my trousers half buttoned, unbuttoned, waiting for
For the
half past,
slow-mo.
for 4:30 in the afternoon when 18 would come on
And you could see B.A. Baracus
and beer Baracus would
getting knocked unconscious before putting on a plane. That's how he likes them.
semi-unconscious and black as fuck.
See, I mean, to be fair,
We're just going to get done on YouTube.
No, come on, everyone knows that Mr. T's a legend. Do you know how Mr. T was discovered?
Well, he's massive. I'm pretty sure people saw him
No.
rocking around.
He was discovered in Rocky 3. Sylvester Stallone discovered him in a World's Strongest Man contest and hired him to play Clubber Lang. That was his first appearance on TV.
Wow.
do you know why it's called Mr. T?
That was before the A Team, yeah. And he
That was
was
before the Snicker bars.
that was before he wasn't even the main attraction to the A-Team. It was George Peppard.
Of course it is.
Because George Peppard was, for those people that don't know, was the co-star in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
He wasn't.
One of the biggest sort of films, like iconic films of the 60s. Like,
Was he also in Angels with Dirty Faces? Was that a different?
no, he wasn't in
who
Angels
was
with
that?
Dirty Faces.
Who was that?
You're sort of stepping on my George Peppard point here, but carry on.
No, I can't remember. It's a crack on.
I've got Angels Dirty Faces actually on VHS somewhere. Well, I did have.
Have you got VHS?
So you'd get rid of
No.
soaps then, Ronnie?
He can sped up with his talking.
Yeah.
But, so just go back to Mr. T. Do you know why he came up with the name Mr. T?
No, I don't actually.
It was actually because at the time, colored people like himself were often called, or black people were called, like boy, but he called himself Mister, so that everyone referred to him had to call him Mister.
Oh,
It's actually a racial thing.
Very
It's actually
smart.
yeah,
the response
well,
to
I suppose, yeah, you go back to the
time.
70s and 80s. Yeah, he's from Chicago, so. But
Yeah.
what a legend!
Just
Him-
a scary thing.
him
Scary
in
thing.
Rocky 3 was incredible. I mean, that guy was like, you would struggle to like. I can't think of a person around that era that could have like assimilated meanness. He was like the Mike Tyson of the film world. He was unprecedented at the time.
And then obviously Rampage took over in the newer film.
He did. Oh,
He
yeah, that's
did.
true. Again, it's a meanness and like grittiness.
Yeah.
But anyway, he became bigger than George Peppard in the A-Team, and then George Peppard got the ump. Anyway,
Yeah.
He
That's
did.
right.
He
Thank you very
got
much for completing that
well,
point.
the A-Team's a series, TV series. Let's throw that in. It is what
I
it
do
is.
have another question for you. Last question from me. and
Anyway, what
then
would you?
can
No.
just-
What TV series would you
Would you get
scrap?
rid of?
I'm trying to have a think now. TV series. Do you know one TV series that I've watched and I think it's such a pointless thing?
Mrs. Brown.
I don't even know what the name of it is. You know that Marvel one they did?
Which one?
The Marvel, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of Shield.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's classic cheese, is what it is.
He just didn't, I think they because they brought that guy back, didn't they? Who died in the Avengers.
They did.
First
Agent
Avengers
Phil
movie.
Coulson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil Coulson.
That is where I sort of lost out, Ronnie.
Because it was
you're
like,
right.
why bring him back when he just died in the film?
Because they needed a face for the TV
Exactly.
series.
So they start
that's what I mean,
on
yeah,
one of
they
those
already started on
loose,
shit.
on a loose sort of like hanger.
They do explain why he's back
Yeah.
and how he's back
But
as you go on.
barely. They sort of say, "Oh, you remember that island you went to and you got all better."
Yeah, but he's died like three
that's
times now.
right.
He's died twice in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. himself already. It's a thing. It's like a
Yeah,
meme
but it
almost that
wasn't
they
the thing. They had to put it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that's the
just
reason they
wanted
brought him back.
Yeah.
It's like
It
when
is
he
good.
first.
It was a big deal that he
first-
died in Avengers, and then they ruined the whole point of that, his death, to just bring him back for a series.
Yeah, and the
just
first
to make
it's
more
almost the
money.
first 2 or 3
Honestly,
episodes, they
Are we
mentioned
saying
how
that bringing
they
people
brought
back from the dead is a weird thing? Because I mean, there's tons of series that brought an unusual character back from the dead under a weird premise.
I get that.
Yeah,
I
like
get that.
South
Yeah,
Park.
in the actual series, but
Kenny's
not when
always
it's-
dying in
Get away
South
with
Park.
that. You get away with that one. It's just mindless.
No one ever goes mental about that, do they? I don't mind Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's turn your brain off, watch it. You know, it's
I
mindless
suppose,
TV.
yeah,
You know,
it's one of them.
there's a storyline, there's a bit of
But to
action.
me, when I watched it, I just
Happy
didn't
days.
enjoy it. I thought it was
if it
they were
wasn't
just trying
on
to
anymore,
make something.
then
from
you know,
it.
if it wasn't there, then I wouldn't necessarily be too upset. But it's not one I'm dead against and don't like so much that I would actually get rid of it completely.
But yeah, I have one last question,
Fire
and then
away.
we can just go free for all.
Ooh, free ball.
So this was actually a question that Rachel said I should ask.
Rachel, who?
Your missus, Rachel.
Your lady wife.
She was saying if any of you knew what the best TV show of the year you were born was. Was there a top rated show of the year you were born? So for me, was
you were born
24.
In what?
So I was born in 2001. I was born in 2001, so 24. About 24 hours, I don't know.
24?
24, yeah.
Are you saying you don't know what 24 is?
Never seen it. And The Office was top 2 rated.
Yeah, but
shows.
that wasn't around in 2001. That started around 1998.
What?
The Office.
Yeah, no, but it
No,
was top rated
But
at the
top
time.
rated in
He was born.
2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, Ronnie, can you just have a look? See, I know you're the Google kid.
Bring it up.
When did The Office come out? Because,
99,
and can you
98,
also check, because in my mind, I started watching The Office. Like, I literally started watching it on BBC Two, like the first episode when it came out, and I watched the first couple. And I was telling a couple of friends about it, and they were also at the same time telling me about a show called Peep Show. And so they were sort of running concurrently. I'd like to know, am I misremembering, or did they come out around the same sort of time? Because they are two of my all-time favourite comedy shows.
The Office was 2001.
Oh, there you go.
So it was 2001.
Yeah.
Are you
And
sure?
Peep Show was 2003.
Oh, well, there you go.
You were nowhere near.
Really?
Eat that shit. Nowhere
Wow,
near.
I'm well out, yeah.
So
The Office was first broadcast on 9th of July 2001 on BBC Two.
Wow. My mind doesn't remember things very well.
Oh, my memory's awful.
So if we go to you,
dates.
Jim, because you're the oldest, 1978. Just for all you listeners out there, would you have any idea?
In 1978.
There was only 2 TV channels back then. It wasn't even a TV, was there?
And they were black and white. So, just as a point of interest, my very first television was black and white that I had in my bedroom. My father gave me.
Nice.
Yeah, black and white TV, 10-inch. Check it out.
A whole 10 inches.
Whole 10-inch.
I had a 10-incher, I think.
Mine was yours white or black?
Mine genuinely had a coat hanger aerial that I made for it.
Did it?
Yeah, it did, yeah. It was a portable TV that my mum and dad won at an evening they went to for a timeshare in Nottingham.
Oh, love it. I tell you what, my old man going on to these like rip-off things, the timeshare and stuff. I don't know if it was a thing you got, but there was an auction at the pub. Do you remember?
A meat auction?
No, an auction, like one of those. There's an auction.
That was a thing. Oh, a meat raffle. A meat raffle.
No, but there was an auction. Oh, what was the name of the pub down from our old work? The Emmons.
The Emmons Rest.
There was an auction there, and the old man went along, and it was one of those where it's just a complete con. So they got like a thing out of a bag, and they went, "Oh, let's see what's in this." Oh, and it was a camera, a really fancy new camera. Put it back in the bag, and like, who wants to buy a bid on this bag? So the old man bid on something, and he got this bag full of stuff. And he opened it up, and there was loads of shitty cameras, like really just bad, like bad cameras. But he still got them because I emptied out the shed the other day and took them round.
You still got them?
He kept them, yeah. He kept them.
Oh, how many? They might be worth something.
They
now.
will not. They are all mouldy and rusty.
Ronnie collects vintage cameras.
I do.
Ronnie, do you collect mouldy cameras as well?
These come with
not
3
usually.
penicillin.
But yeah, do you have any idea?
Any idea? I don't even know what shows were out then.
Love Thy Neighbour.
So from IMDb.
Love Thy Neighbour. No. I doubt that was the highest rated show.
So from IMDb in 1978, top
Some of
2
us do have them.
was Dallas
I was going to say Dennis then.
Dallas.
But I didn't know
Dennis
that was
good as well.
yeah.
Dallas,
and
yeah.
All Creations Great and Small.
Oh, that's
Oh,
very
that's-
close there, Ethan. Try and do your reading a little bit better. There. Try and just do better reading.
Creatures?
All Creatures.
All creatures. All creatures. Great.
Oh,
and
not
small.
All creatures are created. So
They are.
if
Yes,
you
yes.
follow that.
They are.
that
Some good reading there. Ethan.
So Ronnie, I think you're 1980, aren't you?
I am, yes.
If I'm correct. Do you have any idea what yours would be?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say the Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
No.
Oh, well, in that case, my IMDb disagrees with yours. Dukes of Hazzard, followed by Buck Rogers.
Mine was on IMDb, so I don't know. But yours was a weird one because I put 1980 and it came up with all the shows in the 1980s.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult.
So mine was quite hard. I got Magnum Pi and Bosom Buddies.
Bosom buddies.
Bosom Buddies.
You are the best at reading today.
That's Bosom, by the way.
How much rum is in that rum and coke?
That is Bosom. Dickhead.
BOSOM.
But yeah, that's what I got.
That's interesting because Magnum Pi was only launched in 1980. Just saying.
Yeah, but it's top rated show that year.
Is this in
This is
America? Or is
IMDb.
this is all
No,
world
well,
over?
IMDb
This
is
was
American.
IMDb.
Okay, fair enough.
You're the Google geezer. I just thought this is a good idea and went on IMDb.
Go on, Ronnie. Do good googling.
I did. I came
No,
up
no,
with
we need to know
Dukes
what
of Hazzard
yours
and
is.
Buck Rogers.
Mine.
Buck Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
Buck Rogers is
Buck-
great.
Biddy, biddy, biddy.
Yeah.
What do you think yours is then? 1981. You're all
Mine?
so old.
Like, I don't care what yours says, but the reality will be 100% bullseye.
No. Dynasty
We've had Dynasty.
and Only Fools and
No,
Horses.
mine was-
Oh, Evil's Horses is a quality show.
That is a quality show.
That is a great.
That is
that
typically
stands the test
British.
of time. How one
You could
person
never
wrote
make that show. Well, you could never make that show successfully in America.
No, it's quintessentially.
That is-
But you could say that
Most
about
quintessential-
literally most shows, like in between when they tried to remake that.
Yeah, but they
It just
remade The Office, didn't they? And that made me sick.
Yeah, that made me sick. I didn't like that.
No, but the American Office is good.
Down.
No, I know you like don't like it, but I think it is good.
Probably, but I can't get past the first 20 minutes because the first 20
Just
minutes
don't watch the first episode.
I
'cause
can't
the first
help it.
the first episode, literally word for word, is the first episode of The Office.
Do you know what I did when I put on the American Office to see? Well, let's see what the fuss is about.
Yeah, I know you told me you went and watched the actual British
The
version.
actual Office because it's far superior.
What I think
But
should
past the
happen-
first episode, it is actually quite good.
Can't get past the first
Because I don't look
episode.
at them as the same. Like I told you before, the same thing. They're two different things.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's if the UK Office didn't exist, then the American Office would still be a very well rated show.
Yeah.
It's just there is a better version
Do
out
you know what
there.
annoys me as well is the American Office is higher rated on IMDb, and that makes me want to be sick.
Because if you
That's
actually
that's because there's more
I don't
Americans.
wanna
out there.
watch it.
it is actually good.
The original Office for me is
It
in the
made
top,
Steve Carell's career.
is in the top 3 best TV shows ever made.
Well,
Yeah. No. Well, I'd say definitely top.
If you've
5.
ever worked in an office, or
yes, that is one thing
in
the
and
Office
around-
has got for it.
in
It
and
is like
around-
working in an
in
office.
and around the
American
Northlands.
version's a bit more of a
It's a
It's
good
a more
job
of a
they called it The
sitcom.
Office.
yeah, but the American version is a bit more like this. Probably wouldn't happen in an office.
Yeah,
But
of course.
the Office British version is literally slapstick Office.
It is
Yeah, American
perfect.
is a sitcom,
It
and
is
the British
perfect.
one is a mockumentary of the highest order.
So
Talking
my-
about like comedies, then what is your favorite? What would you think your favorite comedy is?
Oh, I dunno.
Series.
There's
Because mine's
so-
got to be This Country.
This country's
It's
brilliant.
brilliant.
But and
It's
that's the
perfect.
reason it's so good. Like I said, we were saying this the other day when we were watching it. It's for me my favourite kind of comedy is. So let's say you've got like a scale in front of you. You've got like one end and then the other end and then the middle. The middle is reality. The closer you can get to that middle scale, either one way or the other, the better the comedy for me. It's like the more real it can be, where they can just ever so if you were like a bit like, let's say you were an American and you were watching, or you were from another country and you were watching, you might very well think that it's real. It's like, so for me, The Office is perfect.
Well, that's the
because
best thing
it's
Britain's
it-
got going for it, isn't it?
it is
reality.
it is, and this
No, it's
country,
sarcasm.
it's
And
just
it's
so
because I think they like-
slightly deviated from
With,
reality.
like their brands, like even like small things like their brands.
Yeah, but sarcasm
They're
and
so
Irish
spot on with their brands. and
is
stuff.
where we do really well.
Yeah.
Anything sarcastic or ironic, we do fantastic.
Well, we have the best comedy, really. British comedy is the best.
I don't know. My
I think
favourite
so.
comedy
Brits.
series, and I love it, and I watch it once a year without a doubt, is Scrubs. I just find it genuinely hilarious.
I've
And
never
it's-
watched it.
It's the writing of it is fantastic. Bill Lawrence, the writer, you know, and the showrunner, fantastic. Obviously had a writing team as well, but it's the acting of the two. Well, they were fairly unknown characters, Donald Faison and Zach Braff. They obviously started working together, formed a really, really close relationship, and are best friends still, and have just released their own podcast called Fake Doctors, Real Friends. You should listen to it; it's great. But because they like bounce off each other so well, that show is just incredible.
That makes a difference, I think, in a
And
program.
that they can switch from stupid comedy to serious moment, because obviously it's about doctors, and they can do heartwarming and then ridiculously stupid. And I just find it hilarious, and I watch it. I don't watch the very last, like when they like had interns and doing this stupid med school one, but the actual series, you know, I think it was up to season 8, incredible. And I highly
I
recommend
think
everyone watches it.
that two people that bounce off each other, I think is really important, because again,
That's
one
why
of my
this country is
favourites.
brilliant, because they're literally brother and sister. They wrote it together.
Wrote together. Yeah,
And
100%.
all
You can,
them,
you
isn't
can
it?
tell some of what they do is sort of like just ad-libbed.
Yeah.
I don't
Peep
like it.
Show as well is another
Ronnie's
one for
shaking
me.
his head there. Ronnie's shaking
I
his
don't like this country. I just no. I can sit and watch it, but I don't enjoy it.
You quite like your classic sort of zany comedy, don't you?
Yes, I like. Yeah, I like a degree of
So what's yours
Unrealism.
then? What would be your favourite?
black books.
Black Books is amazing.
It's
Blackadder,
brilliant.
also good.
Oh yeah, Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are.
But like
No,
Black
Black
Books
Books.
is completely unrealistic, but it's absolutely hilarious.
You see, there's certain things that I like to watch. I like watching Black Books. I like watching like things like it was on the tip of my tongue then, I can't remember it. Like Spaced.
Spaced.
I like watching these, but they don't make me laugh out loud.
The thing with this
because
country
they're not quite real enough.
That's the thing with this country is there's defo people out there exactly like them
Exactly
characters.
right. That's what I'm trying
why
to say.
it's so funny.
It is.
Are you saying there's not people out there like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in Spaced? Are you saying there's not people out there like that?
But they're
That's why
they
Peep Show's so
exaggerate
good
them.
as well.
They exaggerate them.
There's people like that in Peep Show.
But they
The
went to
Office.
college. They went to university together as
That's
well.
why they're
Like,
because they've done loads of shows together.
they're like they bounce off each other as well, and it's that relationship of those two people, of one being an absolute sort of party animal loser and one being almost like
It's the way Peep Show's recorded as well, I think.
but their lives are intertwined. It's like
how it has their mind.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so
they're
unique.
thinking
It is so
like,
unique.
yeah.
That is one of my favourites. That, The Office. There's so many, and
While we talk about your favourite Alan Partridge,
that's it for me. I think the man can't do anything wrong. For 20 years nearly, it's like it doesn't matter whether it's a TV show, whether it's a book, whether it's a podcast, whether it's on Sky, whether it's on the BBC. Whoever writes for him,
He writes a lot for himself.
he does a little bit of writing, but he does have a lot of writers. There are writers that write for Alan Partridge. It's just, and if you haven't listened to his books, and he's got a podcast out on the moment on Audible called it's Alan Partridge at the
see,
Oast.
we're bigging up all the other podcasts here, but we're the best.
Well, you know, they might return the favour. You never know.
But for me, it's just he is the epitome. It's like he can't do anything wrong. I absolutely find him like utterly laugh out loud hilarious.
I will say that there's lots of comedy shows out there. There's lots of TV shows out there, and there's not many shows where if you say a quote from Alan Partridge, one of his shows, most people know where it's from. You can't do that with every show. There's not a soundbite that if you said, someone can go, that's from that.
Yeah.
But Alan, that everyone knows.
When I go Starbucks, that's the name I use. Just so I can hear someone shout.
Alan Partridge, just incredible.
When I went to watch his film, Alpha Papa, before the film even started, people just shouting catchphrases out, and then the whole cinema erupted, and people just going, Dan.
So you mentioned something that everyone goes, that's Alan Partridge, Alan's Alan Partridge.
And I suppose it does have a bit of a cult following, but it's that. And when he does his Alan Partridge, when he's on the radio and he's on his DJ, it's so close to realistic that if you weren't like au fait with it, you could so assume that he is a regional DJ. And if you listen to regional shows, even if you listen to like BBC Radio Leicester, it's like there's elements of exactly what he puts in his thing. It's so close to reality. It's 1 degree to the left or the right.
What would you prefer, his series or his radio series?
What, the podcast?
No, his actual, because he did a series of just Alan Partridge, didn't he? And then he did the
the
series where he's actually in the radio station.
He did Knowing Me, didn't he?
So he did Brass Eye, and then he was the sports correspondent for Brass Eye, which was great. And then he did Know Me, Know You. Okay, great. He found it as soon as it hit the second season of Alan Partridge, Know Me, and it was trying to find a second season. As soon as it hit that second season, that was it. That from then, so anything prior was good. But anything after that, he just found its form.
Because he did the radio show, didn't he? What was that?
He did Mid-Morning Matters.
Yeah, that is
brilliant.
So because from that he did his documentary,
and then he did a couple of documentaries. Yeah,
because from that he did the documentary about where he called that. What was it? He had that chav on or something.
But that was from Mid-Morning Matters.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He had the chav on, and then like.
So I've got a question for you, because Ethan's come along with all these questions pre-prepared.
Jesus, Ethan.
That looked like a big measure.
That is a big measure.
That's my 2 fingers there.
Okay. Question for you. What would you consider to be a groundbreaking TV show? So what had something that was groundbreaking?
Yeah, we talked a lot about British TV.
I'm talking about all TV.
Big Bang Theory was quite
completely
dead on. So different.
Okay. It's good. I mean, love Big Bang Theory. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think it was just
Why do you think it was groundbreaking though?
Just because it was something that not anyone's seen. Like everyone's seen Friends and like stuff like that. But Big Bang was just
nerdy people.
Nerdy people was definitely a big thing. Yeah, at the time it came out as well. Nerdy people was like in, wasn't it? Really, I think.
Well, I think they might have brought it in.
Well, yeah, there was that.
What else? What do you think? Anything?
Yeah, like my favorite American comedy show.
It's not necessarily American, but you're
No, but
groundbreaking
I think it's the same sort of. For me, it's the same sort of thing because it's so unique in terms of like American TV. When there's a few that are like, if you look at like Curb Your Enthusiasm and stuff, that's very sort of left of centre, like only like quite realistic. But for me, my favorite American comedy show, which again I find quite groundbreaking, was Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
And why is that?
That was very more British, though, wasn't it?
Why is that?
Very
For that
much more
reason,
British
it was very
comedy.
different. It was very different than what American was. And when Rob McElhenney wrote it, he loved Friends. So he wrote it because he enjoyed like the camaraderie between all the people.
He wrote it because of the theme tune to Friends.
Well, it was he wanted the opposite.
Yeah, I'll be there for you.
Exact opposite.
I will not be there for
what
you.
if I wrote? What if I wrote about people that absolutely were entwined in each other's lives, but would fuck each other over at any at the drop of a dice. And so for me, it's the most crazy, ridiculous sort of. They're just shouting over each other all.
It's like talking, talking over each other constantly.
I absolutely love it. I think if for me, it's the best American. I mean, I love like you said, The Big Bang Theory, Friends. I love a lot of American comedy, but for me, that is. It's so close to being. I wish it was British, and that's how. I mean, that's just me being a bit patriotic. But I wish it was a British comedy because it is of that ilk. And for me, British comedy is the best in the world.
What about you, Ronnie? What would your groundbreaking?
I'm gonna go Simpsons because I know John hates watching anything animated, but I think Simpsons made adults watching cartoons acceptable.
It was probably the first one.
Yeah, from that you get like Family Guy, South Park.
Was South Park after, was it? Or South Park
Simpsons was the first.
Ren and
Definitely
Stimpy.
the first.
Simpsons is 1989.
When was South Park?
You were
Come on, Google it, Ronnie. Guess on it.
Yeah, The Simpsons does have some classic moments.
And then if you're going to The Simpsons, you've got to talk about
and it did get into the zeitgeist as well.
I do not know much about The Simpsons because it never appealed to me.
Really?
I mean, it's not because it's animated or anything like that. I just didn't find it funny.
The thing is, it's very family-friendly comedy.
Things like Ren and Stimpy and South Park.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, I mean, just
that
incredible.
You got Rick and Morty as well. You watched that?
Dark.
That was
Rick
dark.
and Morty's good.
See, no, Rick and Morty I don't watch. I watched one episode
brilliant.
because my kids told me to. It didn't really do anything for me.
I quite
really bothered with it.
Thing with Simpsons, though, it's very family-friendly comedy, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And then you've got obviously South Park's completely not.
Yeah.
Family Guy isn't really. Rick and Morty, I wouldn't say is family friendly either. And
I wonder if I look on The Simpsons fondly because you grew up watching it. Like,
it'll be as of its time, yeah.
1997 for South Park.
So funny.
You can't talk about.
Sorry, Ronnie, what was that?
1997 for South Park, so 8 years later.
Wow.
But you can't talk about Simpsons and then not talk about all their predictions. Supposedly,
oh yeah, Trump.
Like 9/11, they predicted 9/11.
No,
we're not going down that. We're not going to go down that.
Donald Trump.
Because Donald Trump is, you can't.
Everyone is convinced that the creators are time traveler.
I'm just going to say, has everyone seen the news today that they're trying to take the Donald Trump scene out of Home Alone 2?
Why?
Yes, they are.
No, leave it in.
I believe that is the current
Is that
groundswelling.
Is that following our podcast the other week?
It may well be. It may well be. The straw red fucking megalomaniac.
It's
not like he's just in Home Alone.
Macaulay Culkin.
He's in Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's in that as well. He makes an appearance in that.
He's a narcissist. I mean, let's not get to. I mean, today's topic isn't about politics, but if you want to get into,
I don't like that
Donald
deleting
Trump
scenes from things because I think that whole room, like with the Peep Show was one. They deleted that scene where he blacked up.
It depends what. Yes, that's
where he
true.
Covered himself in chocolate is like a joke.
It was yes.
Like,
I think it's Nancy couldn't imagine. I think it should mum getting banged by a black man.
No, but to be fair, I think it should be up to the writer to decide if that's still appropriate and that's how they want their product to be displayed. So if they wrote something 20 years ago and it was more acceptable, but looking at it now, you're thinking, I wouldn't write that now. I don't like it.
You see, I'm not a massive fan of censorship. I think that things should be
kept the way they are.
Things should be kept in their entirety.
Like Little Britain, for example.
I mean, Little Britain's slightly different because I think that a lot of their sketches, they liked to toe that line. And again, they like to toe that line between taking a lot of their comedy was based at the people that it was laughing at the people that found those stereotypes funny as opposed to laughing
it wasn't that found them funny. They thought that was that's how they reacted. So you got the Women's
Yes.
Institute woman. Anytime something was made by a black person or a minority or
Yeah.
an immigrant,
Yeah.
immediate throw up.
Immediately
That's not
sick.
because that person found it funny. That's because that's how that person
But that was taking the
would
piss out of
react.
them.
Yes,
And that's
exactly.
taking the piss out of them, not the.
And that's how a lot of their comedy was. So it was very in your face. Their comedy was very shocking and in your face because they literally picked on a lot of minorities.
Preconceived ideas of minorities.
minorities.
Yeah.
So you could, theirs was very, very, very different. I think the Peep Show one, it was one scene, and I think it was, I don't,
because it wasn't even that bad of a scene really, because he refused to do it in the end.
And it depends what you. I think any blacking up is like you got to be very.
I think if the product belongs to you and you don't want it in there anymore, you can do what you want with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very true. So if it's yours,
to be fair, with
it's a big statement. It's the right statement
Yeah.
to make. It is the right statement to make.
With Little Britain, they did decide, didn't they?
Yeah,
They
exactly.
didn't want it
Their
anymore,
stuff.
yeah.
They're the right thing to do. They decided, you know what, we don't want it down.
It doesn't matter what other people think. It's their
Same with
product.
Keith Lemon.
It's a representation of them.
Yeah.
If they want to get rid of it, they can get rid of it.
Change. But
What is
then
his name?
it depends how far you want to go, because when Friends first came on Instagram, on
Lee Francis.
Netflix.
Yeah, because he got rid of. Is it Bo Selector? Is it called that? Or
He got rid of
where he has the face?
Mel B, Craig David. He got
yeah.
And he did that before it even people kicked off
Yeah.
about it.
I think that was a little fortunate. I think he was just taking the piss out of the people. I don't think race had anything to do with it.
And particularly with the Michael Jackson mask, it was taking the piss out of the plastic surgery he'd had, and his.
I think it was just taking the piss
and
out
his
of Michael
speech,
Jackson.
and all of those sort of things.
Never had
Not the colour of
anything
his
to do
skin.
with his races thing. It was just. I mean, let's face it. You could pick a million things to take the piss out of Michael Jackson before you ever came to anything to do with race.
A million might be a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, there's a lot.
1,000?
Yeah, easily 1,000. Yeah, easily 1,000. Just for the number of kids he may or may not have touched. But yeah, that would be. I would say if it's your property, you do what you want with it. In retrospect, you can change it. There's nothing. It's like an artist going back and changing one of their songs, like Elton John did with "Candle in the Wind." It's up to him. I mean, he decided to do it, so he can do it.
Yeah.
So, what's your weighing in on this one?
There's one case that I disagree with. There's one that really, really winds me up, which is Steven Spielberg re-edited E.T. to remove the guns from all the FBI agents.
Yes.
And it was because of Drew Barrymore, who went on a big anti-violence thing, who then went on to produce like Charlie's Angels, which is full of violence. So it just really winds me up.
Yeah. But again, it's his property. He can do what he really likes to it. Yeah. I mean,
he didn't write it, did he? Just,
I suppose that's the problem. I suppose going on a crusade is one thing. I think genuinely making a point which is very poignant and should be made is one thing. I think everybody's the whole like the race thing over the last sort of 12 to 18 months has become very, very poignant.
Yeah, 2020.
Important and it should be important. So obviously people are retrospectively going back and editing things that they think actually now things have come to light. We need to have a look at what we made, and is it in poor taste? Is it done right? Is it
But
done
do you think
wrong?
they're doing that for that, or they're doing it so they don't have the backlash, so they don't get told off?
what they've got to think is, did that person? So if we use blackface for example, someone is the joke required to have that person in blackface? And if it's not,
well, obviously with Little Britain it was.
Yeah, but if it's
for
not,
jokes,
then why have you done it? Have you done it for a cheap laugh because you think there's a certain percentage of the population that are going to go, black people are stupid? And if that's the case, then get rid of it. It shouldn't be in there.
That's perhaps why Little Britain decided
we've gone down a massively.
No, but it's important. I think when you talk about TV shows,
what was that film Robert Downey Jr. did where he blackface?
Tropic Thunder.
That's still around, isn't it? I've never actually seen that.
So
is it a comedy?
It is a great film. But the most shocking thing in that
is Tom Cruise.
No, he's not. No, that is hilarious. Isn't for me? Obviously, I'm a white man, but isn't Robert Downey Jr. playing an African American soldier? It's Ben Stiller doing the. As they said in the program, you never go full retard. And it's him playing that character. That was more shocking to me.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
That they did that.
That's really
interesting.
interesting.
Talking about that, there's been a massive backlash of people like actors playing now like gay people, isn't there? If you're straight.
Well, it's like people playing
or
disabled
autistic,
people.
And that's what I mean.
There's disabled actors out there. Why aren't they given the jobs? That's the push for that. Yeah.
But I don't agree with that. Because I think as an actor.
So
that's the whole point of acting. Like you won't have a go at someone for doing a different accent. So you can't really like.
I think it has to. I think we have to. It's very interesting because I had this exact debate with the. I don't know if you've seen on Prom on Netflix.
No.
But James Corden plays.
Yeah, he plays a That's what
guy.
started it, didn't it? Really, just the whole debate. That...
Well, it's been going on for a while, but I think it's obviously it's come to the point now where people are saying where people are perhaps rightly saying that if you're not of a certain demographic, then you shouldn't be playing the role of somebody who's a certain demographic. And
I disagree with that.
I suppose the danger with anything like this is that the debate isn't going on. It's almost like it's scary to say that, oh, if you're not gay, you can't play a gay person. If you're not black, you can't. Well, obviously, if you can't play a black person. That's ridiculous. But it's like saying if you're not, I don't know, slow of learning or handicapped
autistic,
in some way, you can't play a handicapped.
Have you heard
person.
about Sia?
No. So there's got to be a line. The conversation has to be had.
It is
at some point. There's got to be a line drawn where if you're a good enough actor and you're a draw and you can competently play somebody who's gay better than like the casting agents say. Well, James.
Well, isn't that what it comes down to? Yeah.
Perfectly, exactly as we wanted it. Better than all these 30 other people that might happen to have been gay.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it comes down to?
Yeah, there's two ends to it. There's that end to it, but then there's also the other end of if there's a film that's set in say China and there are perfectly good Chinese actors, yet none of them actually make it into the film. It's not excluding somebody because they're not. It's including people because they are.
Absolutely. No, you're spot on with that.
That sounds.
And
right.
I would have said I was going to say something very similar, but you put it much more succinctly than I could have. Well done.
Yeah, I like that actually.
And I just want to get to a point where seeing a disabled person in a role isn't like, oh, they're in that role because they're a disabled person, because
Have you watched Peanut Butter Falcon?
But he is
down. I'm fed up of seeing
Down syndrome, isn't it?
This is really bad.
Film.
I'm fed up of seeing disabled people just being used in zombie movies because they've got no legs, or you know what I mean? No, that's what it is. Or midgets only being used in for for
Small
comedy
people,
effects.
Small people,
Midgets, dwarfs. There are whatever.
But yeah, because like if you go back to like
or for darts.
That's Wolf of Wall Street, isn't it?
Yeah, they use in Wolf of Wall Street for darts.
Just
I watched that the other day.
Dwarf throwing.
Dwarf throwing. Yeah,
wow.
I mean that. But
if you go back to
I suppose it's funny, we laugh at it, and things, but that is where it comes from, and it's trying to get away from people that might think or do think that talking about something like that is like painful. It's like it brings up more than just like a line in a movie or something in a movie. That's all when I go out to do my shopping or I go out to nip to the post office or whatever, that's how I'm seen. I'm seen as a thing. I'm seen as a this. And it's really easy for us to look at it and go, but it's just this and dismiss it.
You put it
You're
into a
not
box,
dealing
aren't
with
you?
it every single day.
Yeah.
I suppose that's different. Ronnie, you put it dead right. I suppose that is what it's like. It's are there people that you could have chosen? There must have been other people that perhaps.
I've got a clear example. We might lead on to something as well with the Marvel TV series Iron Fist.
Iron Fist, yeah, without a doubt.
And you know that the other actor they considered for that role is in the series. He's the drunken martial artist, and that is the one of the best fight scenes in the whole of the series is with the guy that didn't get the role.
Why is it the best fight scene, Ronnie?
Because the Asian guy is actually an incredible martial artist and sells it so much better than the main character.
Artist, yeah.
But not only that, Marvel also did it in the Iron Man 2 or 3 with the Mandarin. I mean, it was a great casting in regards to it was hilarious, the reveal, but the Mandarin isn't Ben Kingsley. In any of the comics, he's not depicted as someone that looks like Ben Kingsley. Yeah. But I was going to say my groundbreaking one, just coming back to the thing we were talking about, was Brass Eye.
Oof.
Brass Eye changed
the
world.
That is a great
That's an
show.
exaggeration, but it changed the UK to be able to. I mean, Ali G took full advantage of that, and then went on to make a career of doing
satire,
like just but setting up people and getting celebrities and governors, congressmen, to say things and do things that they would never do because of Brass Eye.
It was amazing. That genuinely was. If nobody's seen it, go and watch. It's an old program that was on Channel 4 back in the mid-90s. pure satire. It was a news-based panorama type TV show written by Chris Morris and Armando Iannucci, I think,
Yes.
which was famous. He was known for many things back in the 90s. And it's just like classic satire. And they did different episodes. They did one on sex, they did one on science, they did one. The one they did on paedophilia was the one that caught all the headlines.
Yeah, because it was so good, and it was. I mean, they got so many complaints for it.
Yeah,
because he was keeping his kids in a drawer.
In a drawer to save them from
paedophiles.
Yeah,
and there was a bloke dressed up as a school.
And people completely overlooked what it actually was, which was a commentary on how crazy the world is becoming about scared of pedos.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's afraid that if they let their children go out of their sight for 1 minute, they're going to get abused.
They're going to get abused by a paedophile.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it was such a good series. And
There's something about exploding dogs as well, I seem to remember.
what's that, sorry?
Sorry?
There's something about exploding dogs as well, bombs in hidden dogs.
Bombs and hidden dogs. There
and
was beaver fighting, I think, at one point in the pub.
Yeah, and obviously cake. You're getting all those celebrities to talk about cake. You know what I mean?
So
that was just incredible.
The cleverest thing was just never actually said what it was.
No,
I'm sure there's still people who believe that was actually a
newest
genuine
drug out there, cake.
That ties into my whole sort of like take something that's real and just twist it like a few degrees one way or the other. And it's like that was like a real sort of panoramic type sort of news show, and it was just twisted ever so. But just going back to like get political, going back to what we're talking about people, the right people for the right roles, even if it's not necessarily the case now that the right person should be for the right role, whether it be sort of a disabled person for that role, or could somebody who was like a Daniel Day-Lewis, could he play that role instead and play it better? Should it be? This is the question, I suppose. To everybody.
Are you talking Daniel Day-Lewis because of my left foot?
Yeah, or whatever it might be, Dustin Hoffman or whatever.
Yeah.
Should it be that we have to force the issue that people of a certain minority have to play those roles, even if they're the wrong person for the roles, just because we have to put it out there, and it has to be that we have to consider all of this.
No, they shouldn't automatically be entitled to those roles.
The person right for the role should do
But
the role.
if you don't start being more inclusive, you're not going to find the talent that's within that pool, if you like.
But are you only more inclusive when you say we have to include these people?
I mean,
otherwise, there's always a reason to not include them. Because Dave
But
can't run very well.
But you're not going to be able to move that into some sort of law or an agreement with studios and stuff like that. That's never going to happen. It's not going to be.
But a social agreement, like as in
a social agreement,
like you come under scrutiny if you don't include.
Well, it's like the panel shows were told. BBC, the panel shows were told to include more female comedians and guests, weren't they? Yeah. So I think it was like have I got news for you? And what's the one? Mock the Week and stuff like that. I was told more women is what we need, and they put more women on, and the shows were funnier in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But obviously, when they lost Frankie Boyle, it was no good anyway. But
But is that the point? Is it so? So that proves the point, I suppose. Do you have to say let's include all these people? And some people might go, oh yeah, but this, that, and the other, it's got to be the right people. But then when you do start to include them, you actually see that they actually bring something to the party, and then you go, well, actually, because we've forced the issue, now we're quite willing to open the doors and go, actually, yeah, what we were worried about.
Yeah, I don't think it was a case of forcing it, though. That's the thing. It was a bit of a groundswell that said, we need to see more.
Yeah.
I need to see myself represented on that panel. From a viewer, I need to see myself represented on that panel. And you've got hardly any black BAMEs on that, and you've got hardly any women on there.
Yeah,
I want to see more of that, and that was a bit of a groundswell. And to be fair to the BBC and Channel 4 and ITV, they took it on the chin and actually did it. And a lot of their shows were,
better because
or not affected in the ratings, or
just as good. Yeah.
Just as good.
What do you think?
What do you think, Ethan? As a young man,
as a young person,
as a
child,
what generation is
as
he?
what
are you trying to say then? So
Generation D. That's what he got in his GCSEs.
Oh, funny. I retook, right? What are you trying to say then? So going back to the prom thing with James Corden, you're saying that they should have pushed for an actual gay person to play.
You weren't listening to it at all, were you?
Or should they? I don't know.
Or should they?
The
thing is, I think as long as they hold auditions for that and people audition
And they don't discriminate in the audition.
and they don't discriminate in the audition, it doesn't matter who it is, surely. Because if James Gordon did a better performance than an actual gay person, then...
But what if at every opportunity the gay person is not getting their foot in the door, therefore nobody's seeing that the gay person can do the job just as well, because they're not.
But that's the
given
whole point of an
chance.
audition, though. As long as they're given the chance
Possibly.
to audition,
Yeah, but not all auditions are open.
well, then that's they should open their. Then,
You have open
They
auditions
shouldn't
for
force-
all roles. You're never going to get to cast anyone because you'll just be doing auditions.
I do agree. I mean, yeah, I agree to an extent with you. I suppose if it comes down to positive discrimination, is positive discrimination a good thing to try to get people over the threshold? And then we can be a bit more relaxed and say, okay, now everybody is deciding. Everyone's got a foot in the door. Everybody's equal. Now we
choose.
we can say it's all open to the auditions, and it depends whether you're this, that, the other, whatever. Everybody's open.
I don't know. I definitely think auditions is a big one. As long as they're open with the auditions and let everyone audition that can audition, and they choose their best actor from that. That's the whole point of auditions, isn't it?
Well, I think the problem is it's all about money, because doing something like that, putting people who you wouldn't usually cast into movies is a risk, and if it's a risk, then there's a chance of not making as much money, which means it is a financial decision.
Yeah, you need a bank.
But then with James Gordon, you're not really. We've seen Cats. Well, we haven't.
Yeah, but with James Corden, you've got obviously a lot of fans from Gavin and Stacey. He's got a huge following over. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like him in America, but he's got a TV late night show over there that is watched, by a lot of people. So he's a bankable name.
Yeah,
whereas,
he is, but
someone else might.
If it was an open audition, then we can't really.
Yeah, but this is it. Is it or is it not? You don't know. But there could be an actor out there that was perfect for the role, that was equally as good, if not better, but isn't bankable and can't push that product forward because it's not got.
But
it's not got. He's not a name.
You need a name,
you could. Yeah, he is though. James Corden is a name.
No, that's what I mean though. You need a name to push a film.
Yeah, so that's where it comes in. So someone could have been a better choice, but James Corden was an acceptable choice with a name, and that's why you got the role. So that's what Roddy's saying. I assume.
Alyssa would say that because we had this debate when we were watching it.
Who's Alyssa?
Alyssa is my child.
There we go.
Alyssa is my child.
I'm the better superior one.
I much prefer Alyssa.
So Alyssa would say that that somebody who was, because in that film, whether you've seen it or not, I don't know, that James Corden character goes through some tribulations and some truths about him coming out as being gay and the struggles that he had, and that ties into the film. He's not just this like token gay character. His character is quite deep. It's like there's some sort of hardship to his story. On the surface, it's very, as you would expect, perhaps a Hollywood gay person to be, but underneath, it's very sort of like it's hard. She would say that if there was a gay actor in there, that they would be able to bring something to that role, because
they would have had the experience.
They've had that experience, like wholeheartedly, been able to experience coming out to their parents or the hardship they met, whether that was accepted or not accepted.
But you can say that about a lot of things.
You know what? Alyssa is very smart,
like what?
And that's why I prefer her.
Talking about what you call it, theory of everything. He's not disabled in it, is he? He never went through anything.
Eddie Redmayne, no,
he literally never went through.
He was also never a girl.
And he was never a girl, so or a transgender, or even wanted to dress up as a girl.
That we know.
Say that about. Well, yeah, you can say that about a lot of films.
So you're saying as an actor, the method actor role.
That's the whole point of acting, isn't it? To try and show. Have you ever seen Sex Education?
Yes, it's a great TV series.
Does anyone know if he's the guy who comes out as gay is even gay?
I've no idea.
Because I know for one, the bully's not. He's actually got a girlfriend, and he later on in this series, I don't know if you ever watched it. In the second series, he comes out as he doesn't come out, but
the headmaster's son.
Yeah, he becomes gay in it, and he's not actually gay in real life. So you could say that, and everyone loved that.
I don't think he becomes gay. I think he comes out as.
He doesn't actually come out.
Well, but I think he
but yeah, he understands he's bi.
True. Yes.
He realizes he's probably bi. But I think that's the same thing, and everyone loved that, and everyone loves that series.
Yeah, I'm not saying that programs aren't good because they put people in that are portraying a role that they've never lived.
But I think that's the whole point of acting. The acting is just to show the struggle.
Where do you draw the line, though?
I mean,
Could somebody portray?
You shouldn't.
So it's
you
okay.
wouldn't put
So it's okay.
Caitlyn. Is it Caitlyn? Bruce Caitlyn?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, so that was
No,
previously
that-
Bruce.
Caitlyn Jenner.
No, it's not.
Caitlyn
It's
Jenner was
Ronnie. Google that. I forgot. It's Bruce Jenner, but
Bruce Jenner is
Caitlyn
now
Jenner was
Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah,
is now Caitlyn
yeah,
Jenner. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put Caitlyn Jenner in the role that Eddie Redmayne did.
For one, he can't act.
Well, no, but if he was an actor,
Sorry.
she, yeah, if she was an actress,
because she's an actor.
for the Danish girl,
Because she killed a person.
just
driving a
just
car.
because of that, because yeah, she didn't like Ricky Gervais. She did nothing for women's driving. nothing. But yeah,
See, that's a point to prove on with comedy.
But
right?
if
How
she
would
was
you
a-
draw the line with
but
comedy,
if she was a cracking actress, then yes, she should have been up for that role. I mean, I know she's not.
but she'd have to play the man version as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing, is he a man in it or is he a girl throughout? I've never watched the film. Is he a girl throughout the whole film?
Yeah, no,
Danish,
not,
isn't it?
not throughout the entirety.
It's
of it.
Danish girl, isn't it? What?
Yeah, Danish girl. Is he a girl throughout the whole film or?
Is that just one of your videos?
Not in its entirety. No, not
Exactly, but she's fully transgender, so
Yeah.
she couldn't dress up as a man.
Well, I suppose what we're saying is that acting is a job. But you see, I do, and I fall out with a lot of people on this because I do believe in positive discrimination. I think that when you're at a crossroads, I think when there's certain minorities that are being hard done by, I think sometimes you have to shoot, whether they're not even right, whether it's not, you have to shoehorn them in so they have a foot in the door. Otherwise the hierarchy will keep them out.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to let them in. We've done well without them. We've had Ben Kingsley as Gandhi. We can black up somebody else.
Film, by the way.
It's a great film, but
It is
you've got a white guy playing an Indian guy. It's like you could quite easily throw people into roles that like
Lawrence of Arabia.
yeah, like exactly like and Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot or whatever it might be. Choose the role. It's so. At what point do you say let's have these people represented? I don't know.
I think there's two sides to it as well. I mean, I had a similar kind of discussion with this about software development. It's a very male-dominated industry, and I used to think, well, I think it's something that probably only appeals to men. Women don't necessarily want to fill their head with pages of code. It's not the most interesting thing to do. But then, speaking to one of my colleagues, he opened my mind slightly by pointing out the fact that things like you might say, with actors and actresses, there's not as many, probably not as many good gay actors as there would be straight ones who could cover that role. But then, is that because that's statistics, or is it because it's an industry that doesn't actively encourage those people to be in it? Like with women in software development, it's not necessarily that women don't find it interesting. It's just that women know it's a predominantly male industry, so less will look to go into it. It's less women will even try to get into it. Therefore, there are just less women.
Well, yeah, it's the same with any job. You need to be able to see you represented in a role.
Yeah. So with your the positive discrimination, you can say, yeah, well, you need the best actor to do that role, whether they're gay or not. It's like, well, yeah, but there's going to be less gay people because there's less opportunity for gay people necessarily to be in the movie industry. Possibly.
And then you're not inspiring the next generation, to then look at that as an avenue of whether it be employment in software development or going in and fulfilling a role in an entertainment.
I just generally don't think you can win in any situation. Really.
But I think where we are now, I think if, and this is the hard thing. I think we have to, and this is going to sound awful. We have to suffer the pushing of this.
I don't think it's
forward.
suffering. I don't
Not necessarily suffering, but
suffer.
you're going to get people that perhaps shouldn't be necessarily be in a role that are in a role, because we have to push that forward till people feel represented. Because everything over history was whitewashed.
But look at the backlash that Sainsbury's took for putting a black family in their Christmas advert.
Disgusting.
I mean,
same with Tesco did it with a gay couple, didn't they, as well?
And there's people posting stuff like, I'm not shopping there anymore because I can't see myself being represented by a black family. But they had no problems, and this was pointed out many times by many different people, too many to credit on the internet. But they had no problem with Audi advert being represented by carrots. So they were happy with that, but not with black people. I mean, that's what you got like battle against. I mean, when you go into something and saying we're going to push this sector and this group of people into roles, like it or not, that's the backlash you're going to find.
I suppose that's the problem. If you don't push these people into roles,
then
you're
yeah.
never going to get
Yeah.
there.
That's why
So
I say
so-
you can't really win.
so-
Because you're always going to have someone
But you
criticise
will win
you, no matter
eventually.
what.
I think time takes its toll, and I think if you eventually push enough people into enough
I suppose when
roles-
generations die out, it'll be not being
Yeah.
right. But when the
Yeah,
older
exactly.
generation
I would
die
just
out,
like to swivel this back because we've gone so far off topic on TV
I know,
shows.
yeah. Let's bring it.
We need to save
Make
this
it-
kind of talk for a political discussion.
Let's make it nice. Let's make it.
Let's get back to
Can
funny
I
things.
have a
Well,
wax?
can I change my favourite TV series?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
No,
Go on
fuck
then.
you.
The Detectorists.
What's
What,
that,
sorry?
The Detectorists.
Oh, what
quality!
what I mean, Mackenzie Crook is just
Yeah,
he's an amazing actor in just about everything he's done.
agreed.
You're not
And
sure who he is?
Toby, what's his name as well?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie Crook.
I've watched it, but I can't
Yeah.
remember.
He's not the small one, he's the tall one.
The one that looks like the guy from
Toby
this
Jones.
country.
This country looks like him, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one who's in Pirates of the Caribbean. And
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Toby Jones as
But-
well. Toby Jones is a brilliant
Toby
actor as
Jones.
well.
He's a
I
brilliant
mean,
actor as well.
have
Have
you
you
ever
seen him
seen-
in the Sherlock episode?
Yeah.
He was
But better
fantastic.
Than that, have you ever seen the TV? Was it TV film or a TV program? Marvelous, where he's the kit man for a football club.
No,
He
no,
was
I've not seen him.
incredible in that.
He's just
He
a
really
great
was.
actor.
He is just a great actor. He's but no, Detectorists, very good. Thoroughly
It's-
enjoyed that. It's just
It's
a
one of the
nice,
few that I've watched the series like twice.
just a
Watched the whole
gentle
series through.
comedy.
I can just watch it again. I'd watch it again right now.
Yeah.
Happily.
It's just a lovely, pleasant, gentle comedy that doesn't set out to break any like stereotypes or anything like that. It just plods along, and it's got some
Talking about like
not really like laugh out loud moments, but just gentle chuckles all the
Yeah.
way through. Like, one that springs to mind, which I really do like, is where they're looking on the computer for new sites, and he's like, "Look at this here," and you like tracing it round, and Mackenzie Cook just goes, "That's the word Google." It's like the Google watermark. It's the Google watermark. And he's like, "Shit," that sort of thing. Just beautiful comedy. Really well written.
So as you said there, Ronnie, like it's something you'd watch over and over. Is there any shows that you would literally just at least once a year just watch?
So I mean,
No matter what.
I'm going to come up with a question for you in a minute, but one of the shows that I watch every year without a doubt is Scrubs, and I would love to watch a hidden gem over here anyway. There's a couple of shows that I think are just hidden gems that most people haven't seen, and they're American shows, which because of the kind of comedy they tried to portray didn't last over there, and that's things like Studio 60 on Sunset Strip with Chandler Bing in it, and obviously he's not playing Chandler Bing. I can't remember the actor's name.
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry, and
What, Chandler Bing in Friends?
yeah, the bloke from Friends.
The one that got like was always drunk.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's that one is a little gem. TV program called Kitchen Confidential, which is based on Anthony Bourdain's book. You know, the chef.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's it's either based on his book or his life, and that stars, oh man, what's his name? Bradley Cooper, a very young Bradley Cooper, and Owen Yeoman, I think it is. The couple, that's a great TV series, and the last one is Better Off Ted. People should get out there, and I think there's only 2 seasons of that, and you should watch that because that is hilarious. That is laugh out loud funny. Yeah, you should.
I've never
definitely-
seen it.
Those three.
New to me, that is.
Rewatch every year.
I would love to watch them if I could get hold of them.
Okay.
There's nothing streaming them, unless you go down illegal routes, which I do not do.
No.
So I would love to watch them every year, but I'm too
But a
cheap to
series
buy
you
all the
would watch,
DVDs.
you can watch that you would watch. Oh well,
Scrubs.
Scrubs. Yeah.
Scrubs.
What about you?
I actually did go out and buy all of the DVDs for that because you can get it on lots of
It's on
different
Netflix
formats now,
as well. Yeah.
but they don't include the original musical score on a lot of them because when that was made, the music rights weren't transferred over to streaming.
Right.
So
So
a lot
stupid,
of the
isn't it?
streaming sites replace all the original music,
Yeah.
and so when you're watching it and you're like, well, that's not how the music goes there. That's not the poignant bit of beautiful music that I
Yeah.
expect. Then yeah, so I
What
bought
about
them
you?
on DVD.
So
I
a series
suppose-
you just
I suppose
always
stuff that I always watch is stuff. I think this is the same with everybody, but I think it's nostalgic stuff. Like Jim likes to watch his Scrubs because he's probably been watching it for the last 15 years, 20 years. It's nostalgic stuff. So for me, anything Alan Partridge based, Peep Show, I pretty much have always on repeat.
I know you like You're Always Sunny.
Always Sunny.
Always
I have
watching that.
always on repeat.
I suppose there's shows that you've watched so much that
Big
you
Bang
can just have in the
Theory.
background,
Yeah.
you know, like just to
Yeah.
relax to.
And you know when a show's good, because if you turn on the TV back when there was before, I think, and it was on,
you'd still watch it.
Yeah, so before you had, say, things like Netflix or Amazon Prime or all those, and you just turned on and E4 and, you know, How I Met Your Mother was on. I just leave it on because I've watched them all.
I know what? I've never watched How I've Met Your Mother throughout.
Some people hate it, like your dad. Some people like me.
Not a fan.
I've watched. I like it. I enjoy it, but I've never watched it through.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's great, and that's not just because of the comedy. That's because it was a thing that me and my kids watched together. So it's kind of a family thing. So we always watch that together. But the Big Bang Theory, it doesn't matter what episode it is.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory is one for me. I will literally watch it about twice a year, easy.
Yeah.
It's like just all the time.
I'm going to go to films quickly. It's like films. You know when you used to come home from a night
Harry Potter for me, I would always watch
turn the
Harry
TV
Potter.
on and you're halfway through a film.
Yeah.
If it's a film you enjoy, you just watch it.
You just sit and watch
it doesn't matter if you've got it on
Yeah.
DVD or VHS back in the day, and you could watch it tomorrow. You just stay up and watch it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Harry Potter and Star Wars for me is films that I just always watch.
There could be like an hour left on Fight Club, and we're halfway through. I'm watching the end of that.
That's another story for another day.
What about you, Ronnie?
Well, you were wrong. Hang on, before we go to Ronnie, can we have John's hidden gems?
Well, that's it. I suppose for me, it will be.
They're not hidden gems.
No, but yeah. I literally just rewatched The Office, and I've been watching that since it started.
You mean one of the biggest TV shows that Britain's ever
Yeah. Oh, Hidden Gems.
Hidden
Gems. Well, if you've not seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I urge you to watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia. For me, that's great. If you've not seen Mid Morning Matters, most people didn't when it came out.
Peep
Sky.
Big Show.
Yeah, Peep Show's on Netflix. Yeah,
and
it
was massive. Yeah.
But Mid Morning Matters is an Alan Partridge series that was on Sky. I think if you can get hold of that, that for me,
that's hard to get now, isn't it?
It
was on
hard to
BBC for a while. Now it's just
that is probably probably the best of Alan Partridge. If you can find that, it's his radio show from when he was on and it was just basically it's almost like a sketch show of him being on the radio. It's just
did that come after the film or
gold?
Before? I think it was after. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's absolute gold. In terms of comedy shows, I suppose
he's just a brilliant actor, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he did so.
I think when you've done a role for so long, you live it.
Yeah.
So he was playing a 40-year-old guy, a 40-year-old TV presenter back when he was in his mid-20s, early 30s.
And he became a 40-year-old.
And now he's a 40. So when you watch like the BBC one he did, where he was like what was it? I can't remember what it's called now, but it was like the One Show. He is playing himself. He's been in that character for so long that it's seamless, and it's just fucking brilliant.
What about you, Ethan? Well, actually, John, did you give us any hidden gems? Mid Morning Matters and
Mid Morning Matters, I suppose.
Anything else that you've watched that not many people have watched when you spoke to them?
I would go if you've not seen it on Netflix, and only because I've recently watched it, it was brilliant. Is American Vandal.
Oh yeah, I told you about that.
It's not a very. I wouldn't say it's massive, is it?
It's not massive, but if you like Making a Murderer, which was massive, it's like a documentary series, a spoof documentary.
Yeah,
but
it's a mockumentary.
The production value is so good that it's just the 2 seasons of that are fantastic. So if you want to binge something this weekend or next weekend, do it.
Yeah. So you want to know hidden gems?
Well, no, I want to. What you?
So I've watched.
Sit down and rewatch.
I enjoy quite a lot of BBC stuff. So I don't know if you've ever seen the Uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
Uncle's good.
Oh, he's really good. Yeah,
he's a really good series.
Drama-wise, Musketeer. You ever seen the Musketeers that they did?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I really enjoyed that. I watched all of that, and
my missus really enjoyed that, but mainly for the handsome men.
I just don't go there.
No, but that's what
I generally just enjoyed it. I thought the acting was really good, and I really enjoyed that. I just like quite a lot of the BBC stuff that they do.
BBC make they're good because they cover
their dramas and everything.
They do good documentaries.
Every year they come out with a wicked drama.
And the comedy is like if you want like new cutting edge sort of British comedies, like BBC Three, it's only online now. And there's some stuff you watch and this is dog shit, or I do anyway. But then there's some stuff that is just brilliant. There is one, I suppose it's not necessarily a hidden gem because it won loads of BAFTAs and stuff, but when I speak to people, they haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, and you've got some time on your hands and you want to watch it, the episodes are only short, but there's a series by the people that did A League of Gentlemen, a couple of people called Inside Number 9.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah.
Amazing TV show.
I'm still watching that.
No, it's incredible.
It is brilliant, yeah.
There's a couple of episodes.
But they're just brilliant. like what's his name?
It's Reece Shearsmith and
Who's the one from Benidorm?
He name eludes me, unfortunately, but he's a legend.
He literally is a perfect actor. He can do everything.
He can do everything.
Literally every role he could just do.
Those two are brilliant.
They are, yeah.
So any hidden gems you got there, Ethan? Any hidden gems that you've chatted to people about and you think, you know what, you should watch this because they've never heard of it, or anything that you just think is just quality that needs more attention?
Not really. I'm more mainstream. I'm like always on.
You're not old enough to have any hidden gems,
I suppose, yeah.
What about you, Ronnie? You got any hidden gems that you?
Again, not particularly hidden, but one that I went the other way around. It was one that was heavily advertised. I was like, no thanks. But then actually around watching it, it's absolutely amazing, which was Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
I've just started.
Do you know
with
what?
that.
We're all, I think, just on the cusp of.
I've still not watched that, but I'm going to.
It's fucking brilliant.
I've just started watching that, and
so clever.
I was so against it because I just thought it's going to be awful, and then John went, "Just give it a try, give it a try."
Yeah, I was exactly the same.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to put that credit down to a friend of mine, Carl, because he told me last October. Give it a go. You like, but he's obsessed with the 80s. He's obsessed with the 80s, video games, stuff like that. He loves his retro stuff. So I was like, I'll see. It didn't let me down. It's like it takes a couple of. It's not like it takes ages. Maybe 2 episodes just to get the idea of what's going on. But it darts back to the Karate Kid movies enough, but then doesn't dwell on them enough. It straddles that line really well. You're right, Ronnie. That is a great show. And I suppose it's not necessarily a hidden gem because loads of people are getting involved with it.
Well, it's massive in a minute because it's Netflix, isn't it? It's massive.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's season 3. It's been like 3 years old or something now already, and it's just I managed to avoid it just because I didn't want to like it. I didn't think it'd be good, but then
why did we all think that?
It's because we thought they were going to try and recreate the Karate Kid. Yeah. But what they've done is taken everything in tongue in cheek and laughing at themselves.
Yeah.
And that's 100%. What works. If you laugh at yourselves, then fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
right. I think we should go through
Well, I was just going to say, talk about like old school stuff.
Did you woe me?
Yeah, I did, bitch.
Unbelievable. Look at the balls on this kid. He thinks that when this podcast is over,
woe down, bitch. So we were talking like old school stuff. One series that I don't think we've mentioned it.
I wish you were here.
Absolutely fantastic. Stranger Things.
Oh,
we've just not mentioned it.
That is brilliant.
That touched on Game of Thrones, but we've not mentioned Stranger Things, which is actually like one of the top best.
They've done really well with that series because they targeted the younger generation
and the older
for the action, for the storyline, and everything like that. And then they threw in so much 1980s for the older generation, and just they made it incredible. I love it.
They always say, isn't it? There's a time when the world is yours.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you're in your mid to late 30s, going on to like your mid 40s. Everything that's made is made by people that are in power that were around when you were a kid.
Yeah, and they make what they know.
They make what they know, and that's what you know. Yeah. So there is genuinely a time when it is your world, and we're in that right now. If you're in your mid 40s or your mid 30s, it's like that 10 year gap is like. Everything that's around now, pretty much TV shows, anything like that, pop culture, anything that's like a throwback to whenever is always based around when you were a kid. So that is it picks up all of the Spielberg films. It picks up
everything.
Everything from when you were a kid.
It's just an incredible TV program,
and it's brilliant. So
and they casted that,
and you show your kids. Yeah,
they casted that
so
well.
The kids look like they were from the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, but that's all costume.
That's the style now, though.
Yeah, that's costume.
Because if you look at them now, they still look.
The casting on that was incredible.
They got like weird looking people because in the 80s nobody was good looking.
How dare you?
But nobody looked good in the 80s. That's why Bros was so big, because Bros were the only people that like looked half attractive.
My missus is gonna batter you.
Everybody in the 80s looked pig fucking ugly because they were all just like normal people that had just like gotten up out of their council estate houses and wrote a song on their synthesizer and suddenly appeared on top of the pop.
We're getting a real insight into your life.
It's true. It's true. Find me a good-looking person from the 80s.
Big fucking ugly bastard with a synthesizer
who wasn't Bros or wasn't Blondie. It's like
I didn't have growth bottle tops on my shoes.
I like it because
and that's what the 80s was.
It's the first time I met Molly.
Oh, it's going to turn into a good love story. We're going to cut this off real quick.
Let's put some music over the top of this, Ronnie.
Go. Obviously, I met Molly on Tinder, and it was the first time we actually met.
Tinder?
Oh, suppose some...
Yeah. Me and Molly met each other on Tinder.
Tinder?
Yeah, Tinder.
Dirt.
I know.
Before
She
you go-
hates telling people.
Before you go through
I've
the
actually
Molly,
put that
I
out.
know now, I know.
Before you go through the whole story, when we came to the fancy dress party here,
It was at
what
my house.
date was that you were on?
That was October.
What date were you? Was that?
The 31st,
Oh,
I
I
think it
can't
changed.
remember.
No,
Actually.
what dates? As in, how many dates had
How
you
many
been
dates? Interesting.
The fancy dress, like the Halloween.
Yeah.
We weren't going out then, but I can't remember how many.
You
days.
weren't going out?
No.
on? What was she doing here then?
Huh?
You'd invited
She
her.
invited her, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the first time we met each other. She came around mine. I snuck around. Sorry, Mum. Mum doesn't know about this because she wasn't here.
She snuck. Oh, wow.
So I introduced her to Star Wars, and she didn't like that.
Of course,
and I was like,
good
I'm losing
work,
her
Molly.
here.
Thank you.
I'm losing her here.
Why didn't you just at that point open the door and kick her straight out?
So then we started watching the first. Said that my dad was like really into Stranger Things. So I was like, should we watch it? She was like, yeah. We literally sat up and watched it till 4
So
in the
what
morning.
you're saying, basically.
4 in the morning, watched the whole series.
So I mean, I'm just going to like take what you've said there and just like dilute it down. What you're saying is your relationship with Molly is literally based on the fact that
Stranger Things.
I told you. No, let's forget that.
No, it's on Stranger Things.
No,
You told your dad told
It
you
was me.
to watch a TV series,
I
and you got a
saved-
girlfriend from
I
that.
saved your relationship with Molly. Is that what you're saying?
You didn't save it. She
No,
was gonna
well,
she was gonna
well.
like Star Wars eventually.
But you had to keep her,
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
did that with Stranger Things. So you
So
need to thank your dad for that.
Basically, what kept her is my good looks. But
And your winning personality.
yeah,
I miss you, Alyssa.
shut up. You're bold and fat. What personality you got?
I haven't got one. Just brioche fingers.
But yeah, that's why I like
Interesting
Stranger
to know.
Things. Not just, and obviously when we came here during lockdown, we watched the whole last series together as well.
We did watch that. That was
Yeah.
amazing. That last season of Stranger Things
I'd
was
just
so
like
good.
to point out that Ethan doesn't have anything against bold, fat men.
No, I don't.
He just
no.
uses it as a mechanism to beat me down because he's a cruel, cruel little
He's a
child.
cruel person.
But I know he does it in jest and love, and I'll beat him up after that.
He's a cruel person.
Well, you prefer
Right,
my
so-
sister over me, so I can say what I
Yeah,
want
but she is
now.
much better. Right, so let's throw out just some classic. We're not going to go into them too much, but just some TV shows that
What
we
can we
love.
do? Can we do favorite moment from a TV series?
Do it.
Favorite moments. Oh, love it.
Because I mean, can I start?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fire
of course you
away.
can.
Absolutely classic. You mentioned it already to the series, but Always Sunny, Max dance.
Yes.
That was incredible. For
Are we
the-
talking
that
the
was like-
reunion?
The reunion dance.
no, the
Who's
one the
dance?
actual proper dance, the real dance.
Oh, where he's gay. Where he's gay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the change in tempo. The change in tempo, having like
Amen.
what 3 seasons of like how many? 20 seasons?
no,
how many
no,
seasons was
like
it before then?
like 11 seasons.
11 seasons of build up to what would have been a massive joke, and they just they absolutely smashed it.
They made it the most poignant. Like you're right, almost. Well, let's say there's a season a year, so it's like 11 years of jokes and bullshit leading up to one of the most poignant moments. You did right. It was tear jerking, genuinely.
I cried.
genuinely
Honestly, I
tear-jerking.
cried. I very rarely cry at anything on TV, but I cried at that. It was
Genuinely tear jerking.
See, for me, it's got to be the reunion.
The reunion dance.
The reunion dance is just
At the high
one
school.
of the best things ever. The aluminium monster.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, that I suppose that just tells you you've got the juxtaposition there of
Really
like,
poignant.
ridiculous comedy, of stupid comedy, and like
Poignant,
real
emotional
heartfelt,
emotion,
emotional,
yeah.
like, and it comes out of nowhere. It doesn't build you up to it. It doesn't tell you what's happening. You expect the joke,
and you get
and you're left with wow.
you're
You're genuinely left with the season finale.
Someone
Of,
tugs on your heart.
fucking hell! Wow. Yeah. Amen, Ronnie. That is an amazing spot. What about you?
Sorry, what about you?
One of the there's so, in terms of comedy, there's so many, especially like when I look at something like Peep Show, there's so many like one-liners that I deliver all the time to people, and I like say them out loud, and I mention them.
We
to you
go
or
drift
Alyssa.
away from like comedy then.
But I can't
you
drift away from
can't.
comedy. But for me, one of the most funniest scenes that was built up to be like brilliant is that there's a scene in Extras.
Isn't it Picard?
The water.
It's the water.
Oh,
it's the water. It's the scene in Extras where he is
I knew that would
trying,
be
he's
wrong.
trying to pull a bird, and he does what Steve Merchant is just before him, and what the guy who's like the main man
Yeah, he
does
copies
before
his mate.
He copies his mate, flipping the water around, and then he goes to open the bottle of water, and he picks up a bottle of fizzy water. And it's so brilliant because it's so normal, and then instantly it goes to ridiculous. And he does the thing, and this is what makes it so great for me. He does the thing that everybody did when I was a kid to try to stop a bottle fizzing over. You put your mouth over it, and it's just the more sprint. For me, that is just. Well, if you've never seen that show and you show that to a child, or you show that to somebody who's never seen it, I remember Ethan and Alyssa watching it for the first time, and they couldn't breathe for about 20 minutes. It's just
when I've got this beer out of the fridge and
it's fizzing over.
It's just ice. It's like drinking a slushie out of a can.
Freezer.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So I mean that sticks in my mind. There's probably millions, but
So
that
for
sticks in my
me,
mind.
one of the best moments for me in a TV series, which I love and I just find it hilarious, is League of Gentlemen, where they're looking for the missing hitchhiker walker bloke.
Yeah,
and she just goes, "We didn't burn him."
Oh, what the policeman? The policeman.
We didn't burn him. Absolute comedy gold.
I suppose that's the one that people have overlooked. The League of Gentlemen.
League of Gentlemen. So many good things in that, but that bit just
I loved the League of Gentlemen. Yeah,
there's so many good things. There's like a poignant moment for me in Scrubs at the very last season that did bring me to close to tears. Just so emotional. Obviously, it's been going for so long, season 8, and he's leaving the hospital, very emotional, and he's walking out, and he's all the cast, there, and it's just great. That's an amazing.
That just tells you what TV shows are, though, isn't it?
Very emotive.
Yeah,
but there's so many quotable lines from so many things that there's just too much to go through, especially when, John and I, at least I know.
Yeah.
On the whole, have watched a lot of TV and film.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that we can.
What about you?
Quote on.
So mine will be a series that we've not actually even spoke of. Doctor Who.
Great TV.
Okay, good TV.
And it'll, because
Which
because
Doctor?
I loved Matt Smith.
Really
was one
well
of my
written.
favourite doctors
Really
ever.
well written, Doctor.
And when he regenerated, I was actually in tears. The scene where he does his speech.
Did he come back as Capaldi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just before he became Capaldi.
Yeah.
He did his speech, and it was the episode where he turned to an old man
Yes.
because he was like, I can't regenerate anymore. And then he gets his regenerations back, and just that scene before he turns in back, changes again, was just it brought me to tears.
Bless you.
That's it, that'll be a lot.
I think
for
most
a lot of
Doctor
people.
Who fans really, because if you really like David Tennant when he regenerated,
He was incredible.
yeah, just most.
Yeah.
That from Christian Eccleston, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Literally
Christian
brought Doctor Who
Eccleston,
back.
David Tennant, Matt Smith.
And
they were
even
the best
Peter
three.
For me, it was when
Capaldi.
Billy Piper left. I mean, I was wounded.
yeah, she was
I was wounded.
in another place, but yeah, she was.
Even
great.
Peter Capaldi was good, but now
See,
it's
the thing I really
It's
struggled
changed
with
quite a
Peter
bit.
Capaldi as Doctor Who because he will always be the bloke from the thick of it. And for him not to be saying fuck shit cunt every other word,
A lot of people
really,
said that,
I really struggled with because if you've not seen the thick of it, that is a definite watch.
But Doctor Who's just brilliant because it's Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't, it's British TV at the best, really.
I want to see Eddie
Except for
Izzard as
now,
Doctor Who.
except for with the new Doctor, it's a bit.
She's a cracking actress though.
She's really good, but she's
She
not a
is.
very good Doctor. Have you
She's
watched
not-
it?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't watched
The
every
writing,
Doctor Who for a
it's the
while.
writing that ruins it.
Since
the writing
since Capaldi,
awful.
I've not really watched it. So.
The writing is dreadful.
Is it? Sorry, Ronnie, you were saying to me.
Sorry, I'd love to see Eddie Izzard take on Doctor Who.
Eddie Izzard.
That would be
What a
good.
comedian.
Legend.
What a comedian that man is. And not a bad actor, to be fair, either.
Well, I just got crazy there. I think he likes to refer to himself as a lady now.
Does he?
Apparently. Yeah.
I know he always dressed.
Yeah.
Well, not
but-
always
but
dressed.
now I
as
think he
lady.
decides to just go fuck it. I'm just going to say I'm calling myself her.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Fuck
In that
it.
case, I'm sorry. I'm going to just say Eddie Izzard. I'm sorry, Eddie. Izzard.
Eddie, yeah. Whatever. You can do what the fuck
I
he
did
wants.
not know that. He, she,
He, she can do what the
He,
fuck
she,
them,
Eddie,
whatever. He can do what the fuck he
they,
wants.
they
Bless.
can do whatever they want.
God bless
What
her.
are the correct
God bless
pronouns?
her. Him, her,
Oh,
her.
Jesus.
God bless
That
her.
was Ezra falling out of bed. Oh, my goodness.
Right, Ronnie's got to run away by the looks of it.
Ronnie's
Where's he off
child
to?
has fallen out of bed. There we go, everybody. So just a little bit of drama. Just
Personal life drama.
We've just
got-
witnessed
we've got
Ronnie.
We've got a frozen can of beer and a child falling out of bed.
I've never seen a man move so quickly. But he ran upstairs.
The kid's still bouncing.
He is still bouncing with the most haste I've ever seen a man move.
I wish I could make out
what do you
the
think?
camera on his
I wish you could see Ronnie
on
now.
his
That was
laptop
weird
a bit clearer.
I'd love it if it was like face on camera, like when Mitchell and Webb, when it was Dr. Chicken Caesar.
Not only did we see Ronnie run out, we also seen his wife leg it.
They all legged it. They all legged it. Everybody's bombed on after those roos, fell out of bed.
Right, so some quality TV programs that have not been mentioned. Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, we haven't.
We'll
I've
just
never,
give it
to be honest,
thumbs up or
I've never
thumbs down.
watched.
Thumbs up, thumbs
Never
down.
watched it.
Never
Never
watched
watched it.
it.
Couldn't get into it. Watched about 5 episodes.
I've heard the first
couldn't get
season's
into it, so
awful.
didn't. And
Well,
then
not
everybody goes,
awful,
"Oh, you
but-
gotta get." I couldn't get it. Too many TV shows out there. And unfortunately,
That
if-
one didn't make the cut for you.
If my wife can't watch it as well as me, then it goes down the bin.
One of the
Unfortunately.
greatest TV shows that's been created.
Have you watched it?
Yes, watched a lot. Loved it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's amazing.
There we go.
I've heard there was a few episodes.
So what I'm
where-
saying is that I have to suffer because Rachel won't sit through
No,
Breaking
but
Bad.
I've heard.
You should live in my house where Louise can't watch more than one.
Should we live together?
We should live together and let our
Let's
wives
do that.
live together.
Let's do
Right.
Yeah.
But I've heard there's a few episodes that are a bit like. There's apparently an episode just about a fly,
So, what's your point?
like just an hour about a fly.
What's your point? You think that's not good TV?
Well,
When
from
you
what
watch
I've
it, find
heard
out.
of everyone.
Is it a good episode?
I can't remember it.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it? Really.
No, because can you remember every episode of, say, not necessarily a comedy series, which are much easier to take in, but can you remember everything that happens in every episode of every TV program you watch? When you've watched
Depends
as many,
what series. So
Yeah.
Doctor Who, I can remember
yeah, but
easily.
that's because that's one of your favourites of all
And
time.
most
isn't
of them are like season, like
Yeah.
each episode is a thing, isn't it? It's like a different
But
story.
name an episode series then.
it? I don't know what you watch. By the sounds of it, a load of shit. But
So carry on then. We've got Breaking Bad.
yeah, Breaking Bad. That's I think, cracking show. But for you two, no.
Well, he's never
I
watched
just
it.
never.
and
I just never.
But if you gave it a try and you didn't,
Do you know what
it's fine.
series we
Yeah,
haven't-
perhaps would.
We've not mentioned at all Sherlock, the British.
I loved
Incredible.
Sherlock. Yeah, I loved Sherlock.
Sherlock is so well written.
I mean, it's
unbelievable.
based
The
on
last
great
season-
stories anyway.
The last season was so far up its own arse. I didn't necessarily
Very
enjoy
true. Very true.
The episode I didn't really like the last episode of that series.
Yeah, I thought,
I thought they could have made it so
much
much better.
It was
And it
going.
just
It was
went-
getting very. But that's is it Stephen Moffat? Is
Yeah,
the guy
Stephen Moffat and
who did
League
Doctor
of
Who.
Gentlemen- League of Gentlemen again.
Coincidence did Doctor
And he
Who
did
as
some
well?
Doctor Who. Great writer. But I mean, of all the ones, I suppose, of all the ones that perhaps people have never seen, that I would suggest that people should watch. That's a full count.
Is
If
this
you
a
haven't,
hidden gem? Is this your hidden gem? You finally
well,
got
well,
round
it's
to?
my only hidden gem, but it would be inside number 9 because it comes up a lot and people don't forget. But please give inside number 9 a go, because if you like short episodes that are individually different, a bit like Black Mirror,
Oh, Black Mirror's
but
great.
not technical. They're not about tech or anything like that. They're just each
Every
episode
episode's
is
different.
completely
Yeah, it's
different, and it's a
brilliant.
different story.
Was it the second or third episode where they do not speak?
The second one, the
The
second,
second
one,
where they rob
where
the
the-
house,
where the
where they
Stephen
rob the
Smile
house.
was like,
That
yeah.
is brilliant. It's just music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all very, very different. But as they go on, it, like
They've got such
they
a,
get
every
a lot
episode
more
has, by the way, has a
complicated.
dark
Yeah.
twist.
Very-
Always
one
gets a
second.
twist.
Yeah, very good.
Ronnie,
How's the child?
is the kid okay?
Tell us how the child is.
Yeah, he's fine. He's back in bed and asleep now.
Good.
Good.
Right. So other
The best series that John's not watched.
No, these are just.
I don't. I
thumbs
can
up,
tell
thumbs
you.
down.
I can tell you the
Thumbs
best
up, thumbs
season. Best
Go on,
thing.
then.
Band of Brothers.
Oh man, I was about to say Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
It's
It's one of them
amazing.
that I watched a couple of episodes and then Rach couldn't get into it. And again, if Rach can't watch it, then I can't watch it.
Yeah, Band of Brothers for me is a thumbs up.
Yeah, it is a thumbs up. What I saw of it, I did like.
What about you? You see
But it wasn't it wouldn't
never
blow
actually
me out of
seen
the
it,
water.
I've heard it is really
And
good.
unfortunately,
But it's the
and
context. It's the end of the episode where you actually, literally, the people that were acted in the episode are actually at the end of the episode talking about the real experiences.
Yeah.
It just grounds it. It's just realize people actually
It
lived
really
through
That's
that.
important. Yeah, that's
I'll
very
lend you the
important.
box set because it is something.
Ronnie's lent me the box set.
He's got my box set already.
Ronnie's lent me the box set. I've got it
No,
there
I'm
somewhere.
saying to John, I'll lend him the box set. But yeah, Chernobyl, thumbs up, thumbs
Oh,
down.
amazing.
Never seen.
Amazing program.
I've never seen it.
How about you, Ronnie? Seen it?
Not seen it, and it's not on anything to stream now, is it? We actually thought, oh, we'll turn around and
It's
actually
on
start watching.
Amazon
Get it
Prime.
go. It's only a few. It's only about
Amazon
6
Prime,
7
is it?
episodes. Oh my god, that show! Like we
Incredible.
put that off for ages. We only watched it this year, not that long ago. Amazing program.
The Wire.
Never watched it.
No.
Never watched it.
Heard a lot about it. I feel like I've missed the boat.
I would say that's in top 5.
Have I missed the boat?
You definitely have. You should. No, you can watch it now.
But will I watch it and will I appreciate it? The same way that I can't watch 24 now because they tried to get into a building using a Palm Pilot.
Right. So
And I'm, it's like
you're
that,
gonna have to watch it as its obvious time. So if you went back and watched War Games, you know, the old film, you'd appreciate it for the time it was in.
But a series, that's slightly different.
But a series that was made back then when they had pagers and new flip phones and burners were like coming into a new thing. If you can appreciate that, that's when it was made, then you'll love it. It's crappy series. I watched the first series when it came out originally, and then just watched the rest of it recently. I went back over it. Really good.
Baltimore.
Yeah, Sopranos. It's another big one.
Yeah, I watched that.
I think I've watched an episode with you.
Right.
Not for you, Ronnie.
No.
I mean, I think I've seen about two seasons.
You've got to like that genre, and I love that genre.
It is on there for me to watch again, to watch it all.
I'm not looking for like Scarface or any of those kind of. They didn't really go.
Yeah, I love that genre. I love that.
Yeah, give us a few more.
Well, we've got loads on. I mean, I'm on IMDb looking at all the top rated.
Oh, got a question for you. What's the longest running TV series?
Sky Night.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah,
But hasn't that stopped now though?
Don't know, but it probably will because it was the first thing ever on the BBC.
So are we talking about TV series ever?
No, I know.
Because it would be like EastEnders or something.
No, it will though. That's a
Well,
series.
it depends what you class as a TV series. I think. I mean, from looking at it, Coronation Street started in 1960, so that's
50 years.
pretty old.
Yeah.
Well, more than 50, 60 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
if we get rid of soaps, then like that.
Simpsons,
what is it?
1989, so that's the longest running TV series according to some people.
Is Simpsons still going?
Yep.
Wow.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would say,
that the news is a series because it's on.
Shut
Well,
up about
that's,
the
that's an information program, I would say.
It's not a series.
series.
You can't buy the
So-
box set of bloody the news, BBC News.
I think you'll find out you can. It's called 24. It's from their news channel, BBC News 24.
If you could.
I'm just
Merry
catching
Christmas.
I'm catching up on the 1960s today.
1972, the news, BBC News from 1972.
Do you remember the film? What is it? Not the history of lying. No, the creation of lying. The invention of lying. The invention of lying.
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais, because he worked in a place where they literally did that. And made TV series out of historical.
I mean, that was a really clever idea. I didn't like the film, but it was quite a clever idea.
Loved it. The fact it was so matter of fact. Alex, have you become more attractive?
Yourself.
Yes. Great TV show that didn't seem enough of the enough seasons or series. Firefly, loved it.
Never started it, but I heard a lot about it on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
never bothered.
Ronnie's shaking his head. He's not a fan.
I've not actually watched it. I've seen the movie. What's the movie called? I can't remember.
What's this? Sorry.
Firefly?
No.
There's a movie that's like it seems to sum up the whole thing in one movie.
Yes, I can't remember what it's called, but the season.
Just put it between your legs.
Very
fall
good.
Out.
True Detective. Yay or nay? True Detective.
Never
Serenity,
watched it. I don't believe it.
True
Or is
Detective.
that the one with
That's a
Harrelson
shout.
and
That's one of Harrelson
yes,
and
first
Matthew
season was
McConaughey,
amazing.
and then the bloke from Green Book.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
I watched the first season, but I didn't watch any more after.
That is a shout. What are your things on like murder mystery?
Love them.
Love a murder mystery.
Have you ever
I'll tell you
watched
what my favourite
Death
mate-
in Paradise?
No, because that's a comedy, and that's.
No, it's not. It's murder mystery. Have you ever actually seen Death in Paradise?
Is that the BBC one that had the
Yeah, where they're
comedians
like
when they're all just
no,
taking
they're
the
not Jamaican.
piss?
No,
Well, you said Jamaican. I didn't say Jamaican.
they're not in Jamaica. They're in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
But it's like a murder that happens on the
Yeah, but
island.
it's,
It's not a comedy, no.
isn't it? Not Alexander Armstrong?
Documentary.
No, it's just a murder mystery.
I'm
Me and
pretty
Molly
sure.
love it.
It's just like a.
I'm
like
going to.
It's not a comedy,
drama.
honestly.
Is it drama?
It's
It's got the guy from.
It's a drama then.
So it changes. It doesn't change every series, but it's like Doctor Who sort of. It's passed on. The detective's passed on. So first of all, it's got the guy from
It was
in the first Johnny English.
Alexander Armstrong.
His apprentice.
Mate, Armstrong and Miller. Whatever his name was, Miller.
But it's not a comedy, no.
I thought it was a bit of a.
I like it because it's quite upbeat
Ben
for
Miller.
a murder thing.
Yeah.
It's very.
Ben Miller. Is that
Yeah.
who's in it? Is
Yeah.
that the one?
And then it was the bloke from My Family.
There's loads of people.
The
In
young
it.
Tall
man.
guy.
The guy from
the kid that was then in the adverts for
what's
BT.
this? The church series, Ted.
Father Ted.
Father Ted. He's
amazing.
in it. Not Father Ted, but his mate in it.
Odalu Hanlon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Marshall was the guy from My Family.
Yes, Chris
Yes.
Hanley. Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's not
Chris
a comedy,
Marshall.
no.
Chris Marshall. It's got Danny Jones in it though, so it kind of is a comedy.
There you go. Thank you.
It's
Thank
not
you,
a
Ronnie.
comedy. If you actually, you can't call something a comedy with the actors in it unless you've watched it.
You can.
I watched bits of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's funny. It's just quite good.
But
Me and
proper
Ollie
crime
love
ones, proper like crime mystery
it. Like
ones.
murder. What's it?
Like-
Midsummer Murders.
No, Broadchurch.
Tag it.
Broadchurch.
I've never seen Broadchurch. Never watched it.
Oh man, you should watch Broadchurch.
Good.
Honestly, that was one of those that came out week on week,
Yeah.
and that built tension so well.
Really.
Yeah, and it had you think. It's very similar to Making a Murderer and American Vandal, where you're constantly, obviously not in the way it was filmed and not about any of the subject, but it had you changing your mind on who the killer would be
Oh, I like them.
each and every week. And
I like them.
I have, like we discussed last time we did a podcast, I have quite a good hit rate on figuring out who.
Yeah.
Not a fucking
Not a
clue.
chance.
I said to the kids at the time, I said, I will bet you whatever you want that this is the murderer. And they chose to have a Domino's pizza. And when the final episode came out, I ended up buying them a Domino's pizza.
I bet you were wounded.
I
You had
was
to buy
wounded.
Domino's.
Yeah, because they didn't give me any. And as previously discussed, I'm a fat man. So, but yeah, Broadchurch, incredible.
Did you ever watch The Killing? That was similar for
Killing,
me.
yeah.
The Danish,
Yeah,
the
the Danish
Danish
one.
sting of The Killing. That was similar for me. That was like that 10 episodes, and you had no idea who it was. And it was right to the very end. I loved that.
I watched that because you recommended that to me.
That was a brilliant.
Oh,
show,
I'm pretty
that
sure I
was.
recommended
I've never- yeah,
Broadchurch to you, but you just
have.
ignored.
I have ignored you.
ignored mine.
Like a bitch.
Yeah. Other notable mentions. Let's have a look. See what else we've got.
Lost.
Lost.
You see, that was that one of the very first ones that just like took the world by storm, and then they kept going and going and going and going till they realised they had ran out of steam.
Yeah.
And they had no ending for it, so they made an ending up.
Yep.
I think
There we go.
well,
It's
they
synopsis, correct?
always said that they had an ending originally planned, and if they had that ending originally planned, then they should never have made that TV show,
Right.
because the ending, although I've come to accept it, was
Big dream.
bad. Yeah, no, everyone for years and years and years, spoiler warnings just in case, everyone from the first season was saying he's in purgatory, he's waiting to go to heaven or hell, and they're like, no, that's not it, we've got something much better. No, that turns out that's what it was.
There you are.
Do a few more honourable mentions and then we'll
All right, then.
end it there
Fargo.
because we'll be talking here forever.
Ooh.
Otherwise.
Yeah, Fargo.
Fargo's great. Good film. Not seen the TV show.
TV
I
shows.
started watching the
TV
TV
show's
show.
really good.
But never got
Really,
on with it.
really good. Not a big one over here as far as I'm aware, but Seinfeld
Seinfeld's
Ooh,
great.
is
yeah.
Yeah, Seinfeld's
huge.
good. Yeah, Seinfeld's good.
huge.
Heroes.
Heroes, amazing.
Heroes was okay.
I think that was probably the first big one before Lost, wasn't it? Or was it around the same sort of time?
Lost was before Heroes.
Yeah.
Must have been. In my mind, it was. But then I thought that The Office was fucking 1998.
Yeah.
Well, Lost was 2004,
Google,
For
come
me-
on, Google it.
and
It's always
Heroes
those
was 2006.
style ones.
Well, there you go.
2006.
Lost was 2 years ahead.
Knock some
Yeah.
good others out here. Narcos, great.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Big fan of
Not
that.
seen it.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders, couldn't care.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Peaky
okay.
Blinders
It's
good.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
alright.
Tom Hardy in that. Top quality.
Any Blackadder,
Quality.
amazing.
Oof, Blackadder, amazing.
Love Blackadder. West Wing, great. House
Do you know what, we
of Cards,
touched on
Watched
it, but we
House
haven't
of
actually
Cards was great.
Better
we
Call
only-
Saul, don't care.
we touched on it,
Yeah.
but we never really went into detail, which I thought would be probably one of the main things we actually go into detail about Game of Thrones.
I think we discussed that.
We did.
Oh,
discuss
not
it.
really. We touched on it, but
I mean, does anyone have anything to say other than that it is
It's-
pretty fucking great?
It is. It's definitely got to
Would
be
it-
up there.
would it annoy you all that I've only ever watched the first series?
Yeah,
and
you're a
nothing
dickhead.
else?
Let's not talk about the ending because I know that's very divisive.
Yeah,
But as a season, as a series, I think you can appreciate it all without saying, "Well, the end ruined it." You can't ruin like
The thing with
9
something like that
seasons
is-
or 8 seasons.
You know what he always
with-
reminds me
with
of?
just the end.
It's like when someone
Wasn't it
is in a
Leaked,
relationship
the
for
original?
a very long time, say 5-10 years,
Yeah.
and the relationship comes to the end and they go, I've wasted those last 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's bullshit because you
You
weren't
love-
unhappy for those previous 10
Yes,
years.
you're perhaps
only
only
unhappy
unhappy for the
now
last
because
few months,
the
yeah.
relationship's ended.
So
So
wasn't the original ending leaked and that they had to change it last minute?
I don't know.
I'm
You
not
mentioned that on
sure
the
there
last
was
one. I didn't
something
look it
about
up.
that,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
But it's just a great TV series. One of the big ones at the minute, which I am a massive fan of because I do like superheroes and that sort of genre, is The Boys.
Oh
And
yes,
I
brilliant.
love that.
Brilliant.
I love that
I've
TV series.
grown to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very dry with it to begin with, but I was very dry with the whole superhero genre.
You kind
I
of
felt
did,
like
you
I
ran
felt
out,
like I'd
you ran out of steam
exhausted
with it.
all steam with it. Yeah, but it does make sense when you watch it. It does make sense if superheroes suddenly were to exist in the real world, how they would sort of operate and how the world would accept them. It does make sense. It really does.
I just like the ideas of superheroes going rogue, which is why the film Brightburn
Was great.
so good.
Yeah,
It's
and
just-
what's the one with the fly on the wall, sort of the handheld camera one?
Oh, I think I've seen that. Where they all get superpowers from like something.
Chronicle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of the lads goes
Chronicle.
That's
evil.
Michael B. Jordan
Yeah.
again. He's a
But
cracking actor.
again, everybody slated that. I loved that. I thought that was
really good.
brilliant.
Yeah,
I thought it was
really
brilliant.
Oh yeah.
But The
Yeah.
Boys, just incredible bit of TV out there at the minute.
Yeah.
Really
So a
do
question
enjoy
that
How
I know we're on
long
about-
have we been talking for?
I know we're on about ending
People
Twelve
it.
will get
hours.
bored of listening.
I'll give
to
you
it.
the last
Jesus.
question and then we'll end it there. What series are you looking forward to
Chips.
the most?
Oh, no idea.
Well, The Boys season 3 is going to be really interesting. Since we've just done that
I'm
one.
looking forward to the Obi-Wan series. On
The
Disney.
Obi-Wan. I mean, you've got so many things coming out. I mean, WandaVision came out today.
Yes.
Which is Marvel's
There's so
new-
many Star
Yeah,
Wars
but
things.
what is that? I've seen so many of it. What is it? I can't make it into. It just seems like a 1950s.
It's
Basically,
not that, it's
film
mixed.
of-
without going into too much detail, the theory is that she's created her own world because she's obviously suffering from losing vision
Yeah.
in Endgame, and this is how she's dealing with it. But it's they're time hopping through different TV series like I Love Lucy and I Dream of Jeannie and stuff like that, and they're going through all the different decades and
Right.
hitting on TV shows, but there's something sinister going on in the background. So she's either being controlled, which is a lot of theories. It's
Odd.
Mephisto, which
Yeah.
is the devil sort of character, or Nightmare, or something like that. So she might be in a dream state. Who knows? But it looks quite interesting, and it looks like it's been filmed
Give it.
really well.
We'll give it a go.
I'm going to give it a go. But there's all those that are coming out. Anything Marvel related.
Disney are making a lot of Star Wars series.
They're making a lot of
recently.
Star Wars, a lot of MCU stuff.
But
Coming out.
the most one is the Kenobi series for me.
Who do you want to play? Kenobi, Obi-Wan.
Well, we all know who is playing
Yeah, but
it.
who would you want to play if it weren't him?
I wouldn't
You
want
wouldn't
him to play it, yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'd want Alec Guinness to play it.
Really?
Yeah,
Dead note.
I know he is. That's why I said I'd want it. Can't have it.
Ewan McGregor, because it's not that he's not old, is he? He's going to be.
I suppose the next Stranger Things.
It's going to be after Revenge of the Sith, I think. That's how they're going to film
Well,
it.
it depends where the place is.
That, well, 10 years, I think the rumour has been 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So he won't be an old yet. Won't be grey and old like Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness is great. Weren't he though? Yeah, but there's all those that are coming out. She-Hulk.
And not only that, they're bringing Hayden Christian back.
I tell you
which
what, I
think
am
is
looking forward
brilliant.
to. The MCU are bringing out a series called I Am Groot. I'm interested to see if they're going to subtitle that, or is it just going to be 30 minutes of I Am Groot? I am Groot. I am Groot.
What about you, Ronnie? Is there
Because that
anything-
one's just going to be
That
That would be
hilarious.
interesting.
There's two things. Marvel have a series called What If, which looks quite
Oh, what
interesting.
if? Yeah.
Which is kind of like I think it's like alternate origins for characters or things. From what I
It's
can see.
basically what if instead of say Captain America being getting the super serum, what if Peggy got it instead, and then
Yeah.
she becomes not Captain America because she's British, but she
Yeah.
becomes that superhero.
but not Captain Britain because that's already a character.
Yeah, no, yeah, not Captain Britain.
What's the other one?
But the other one, the big one is, I'm optimistic for The Continental, the TV series that follows John Wick.
John Wick, yes, yeah, that.
Well,
It could be bad, it could be awful, but yeah, John Wick's so good that if they can get any kind of element of that in there, then it's going to be worth watching.
that would then become a big franchise if they can pull that off.
I feel that the only thing carrying John Wick is John Wick. It's Keanu Reeves.
No,
I feel that all they're going to do is try and tag on some weird shit to it.
No,
to try and make it exciting, and I think it's going to.
I'm going to disagree with you. That
crap.
Lovejoy was amazing in that. He was though, weren't
He
he?
was, yeah. But he's in the films. I don't think that they might even consider him in the. I just think it's a stretch too far. I think the John Wick is already becoming slightly stretched, and I think this is a stretch too far.
I'm with Ronnie on this one. I want to see it.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
going to be loads of weird action.
What series are you
scenes.
looking forward to?
I want to see a
If
remake
you-
of Lovejoy now.
The next Cobra Kai. The next Cobra Kai.
Next
I'm really
season of
looking
Cobra
forward to. And if they do another Stranger Things, yeah, that as well.
Yeah, there's so much.
great.
Well, they are, aren't they? They're doing a fourth Stranger Things.
Yeah,
They
They
are.
did a teaser trailer for it already.
Well, there we are. Then
We'll be able
that's
to
what
do-
I'm looking forward to.
We'll
What
be
about
able to do
you?
another podcast for this in about.
I
a
definitely
year or
think we
two.
should do another podcast on this because this one.
What
It's
TV
gone
shows?
But we won't be able to
We've
discuss
talked-
any
we've
of the
talked
TV
today,
shows.
We need to talk about something else, like
That we've
mixed
already
martial
discussed.
arts.
But yeah, I
We're
think
not
we
talking
should.
about the Ultimate Fighter.
So, which was your favourite season of the Ultimate
No,
Fighter?
we're not getting into that. I do think we should end it here. If there is any topics you guys want to see, well, not see, listen to of us talk about them, either put it in the comments or definitely go check out our Instagram and DM us, which I will put a link in the description down below for you guys on YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also like the video if you enjoyed it, which I can't see why you wouldn't.
Just tell your friends, really. is what we
Yeah,
want.
and
Just tell your
definitely
friends.
spread us
word.
around. Just spread us around
Spread
as
us
much as you can.
jam.
And
We're not just on YouTube. We do actually have a podcast.
if you'd like us to
So-
mute anyone's mic, such as Ethan's, or replace him with someone, say like Alyssa, then just let us know. You can put it in the DMs
Yeah.
and we'll get it sorted.
Or with a
It's
dog.
things we can- yeah, or
I've
with
got
a
a couple
dog.
of dogs here that could
Yeah.
replace Ethan.
Or a hand puppet.
Well, if we give Jim a KFC, I think he'll shut up for the old podcast.
A whole podcast. We've been talking for 2 hours. How long do you think it takes me to eat a KFC? I inhale that.
True.
You need a full bucket.
Maybe about 6 buckets of
You just have to get them, like,
KFC.
keep bringing them in.
But yeah, if you enjoyed it, don't forget, definitely give it a like. We obviously do also have a podcast if you don't just want to listen to us on YouTube. What's that on, Ronnie? Sorry.
It's gone various places. I think it's been submitted to Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. It's all over the place. But the web,
Well, we're all
the
over
web
the place
address,
'cause that's how good we are. We're just everywhere.
the website is www.whatsthispodcast.co.uk.
And we'll put that in the link for you as well. If you're here on the YouTube side, but if you're here on the the podcast side, then don't forget to check out our YouTube as well.
Also, just leave us a comment and let us know what you think. It can be good or bad. We really don't care. Just tell us.
Yeah, any
Don't give a
criticism
shit.
or
Yeah. Yeah, criticism is good because it means that we know what to tighten up on, and if we,
But I think this has been the longest podcast we've done so far.
it's fucking long.
It has been long.
We always drink when we do a podcast, so I had a lot to drink.
The voices
Yeah.
might have got a little bit more slurry as we went along.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're starving as well because I haven't eaten yet. So
Yeah.
I think it's time to order some food and all.
True that. I'm on.
But yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
cheers. See you later.